All right, beautiful people. I hope all is well. We are going to go ahead and get started in about 2 minutes. Y'all know how I like to do. I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to tell folks where they need to be here in Zoom, because here in Zoom, obviously, you're going to get the slides, and only those who are in Zoom will be allowed to ask questions when we get to our Q&A. So again, welcome everyone who is joining. I hope all is well. We're going to give folks a couple more minutes. Today, unfortunately, I do not have a VA. I'm serving as host and VA. So I just want to give folks a couple more minutes to come in so I can let in as many people as possible, so I'm not too distracted as I present. Because once I zone in, I'm zoned in, and I don't want to leave folks out in the cold. So again, we're going to give folks a couple more minutes to come in. Let me invite them on Instagram, let them know they're in the wrong place, and we will go ahead. This training will, including Q&A, will be approximately 2 hours. So if you do have to dip out, feel free to come back in. It's 7:03 p.m. Eastern now, so we'll probably be together until 9. There will be a recording available. However, I will have an offer at the end that expires in 24 hours. So I highly recommend that if you are interested in working with me and you want to take advantage of the discount that I'm going to be offering only those who are on the Zoom, it's only going to be good for 24 hours. So it will be recorded. You will have access to very useful, important information that you can take into action immediately. But if you can, I would prefer if you stay on. And plus, you get to ask questions live, right? And that's the best thing. So, all right, folks, let's go ahead and let Instagram know that they are in the wrong place, and then we can go ahead and get started. Okay. Right. Let's go ahead. Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. If you are looking at me on Instagram right now, you are absolutely in the wrong place. The place that you need to be is in Zoom. So let me go ahead and let y'all know how to get on it. Free training, free, let me say, dating training. So I can pin it on Zoom to see the slides and ask questions. Join us by clicking the link in my bio to, I think that's very clear. I hope that's clear. If you want to be in a Zoom, you have to click the link. Okay. All right, folks, and also on Instagram links. I know that people notoriously don't like to follow instructions. Instagram lives, for me at least, only last 1 hour. They only last 1 hour, where we're going to be approximately 2 hours in Zoom. So it really is in your best interest to join Zoom, and it's free. So no skin off your back. You get to see the lives, you get to take notes, you get to take screenshots if you're in Zoom, and you get to ask questions if you're in Zoom. No questions will be taken through Instagram. So it's in your best interest, Instagram land, to join us. Oh man, I put few instead of free. Man, I gotta type it over. Free dating training on Zoom. On Zoom. Click link in bio for click link in bio for access. How about that? And make sure I spelled all that right, because that's gonna get on my nerves. Unpin and then pin. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. Again, if you're in Instagram land, you're in the wrong place. Join us in Zoom for the free training. All you have to do is click the link in my bio to register. That's all you have to do. All right. And again, everyone who's in Zoom will see all the slides. Everyone who's in Zoom will get a copy of the recording. Everyone who's in Zoom will have the opportunity to ask a question. So again, if you're in Instagram land, I understand you're comfortable in Instagram land, but if you join us on Zoom, you'll be able to scroll through your phone and hear the whole training versus on Instagram. If you're listening to the live, you can't go any other place, and that kind of sucks. Okay, so join us in Zoom. It is free. All you have to do is click the link and register, and I will let you in as quickly as I can. But be honest with you, it's a Sunday evening. I don't like doing stuff on Sunday evenings because then I can't have my VA who works 9 to 5. Click the link in my bio. You go to the last button. It absolutely says free training. Click the link in my bio. There are 4 links. Once you click the link, the bottom one, free training, and it's absolutely there. Not only did I put it there, I checked like a few hours ago. Okay, so it's absolutely there. All right, folks, we are gonna go ahead and get started. And if I'm gonna scroll through real quick and see if I have any of my former amazing clients who is going to play co-host for me today, because like I said, Sunday nights are great for you guys, but in terms of assistance, it's not so great. So we can do what we can with what we got. Okay. All right, beautiful people. I hope all is well. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Alison, certified dating and relationship coach, and we are going to go ahead and get started with our free training, How to Find the Partner You Deserve. I know it's a mouthful. I'm not really crazy about it, but that's my go-to. That's my line. So kind of got, it's like you got to stick with what you started with. And it exactly explains what I do. I help people be found by the partners that they deserve. So this is the first time that I've done this training. I normally do this training twice a year. This is so over 3 years, it would be 6 times. And I normally have a very pretty photo of myself, right? Because it's my training. However, I actually want to show you guys one of my most, I guess, valued moments of my Ready, Set, Love retreat, which was in Jamaica earlier this month. And we had a guest speaker. Her name is Nay, the beautiful Nay. She is the founder of Black Marriage Club. And she was talking about how to position yourself to be a wife. So I just wanted to show this moment because you could see all the ladies, and there's some women behind here too, intensely listening and paying attention, because that is what we desire, right? Like, we desire being in happy, healthy relationships. And for most of us who are on this Zoom, we desire that those relationships, I wouldn't say culminate in I could even say that, culminate in a happy marriage, right? That it ends in a happy marriage. Not a wedding, but an amazingly happy marriage. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get started with that. How do we do that? Now, I know a lot of folks are not crazy about dating. Dating has been dubbed as something that's quite unattractive. And I would say many times it's because we don't have a strategy. So everything is hard when you don't have a strategy. Everything is hard when you don't have a strategy. So you guys know that I've been on this fitness journey. I started at, I want to say 9 months postpartum for me to lose this 20 pounds that I gained. Well, I gained 40. I lost 20 on my own and I had 20 left. And if I did not hire my trainer, then I would probably never go to the gym. That's number one, right? So like you guys, if you don't put the effort to navigate dating, you probably don't put yourself out there because you don't want to do it. But unfortunately, unless you are a believer in arranged marriage, you have to date. This is the painful part. Painful when you don't have a strategy. This is the gym part. This is the dieting part. But you have to go through this in order to get to the end result. So when I was on this trip in Jamaica and I was down 16 pounds, only got 4 left, and I'm wearing the things that make me feel good, all the months that I complained about my workout situation was resolved because I got pretty much close to the result of what I wanted. Does that make sense? So yes, we have to push through. We have to be a part of free trainings. We have to join communities like the Future Wives Club, my private Facebook group. You may have to go on a retreat. You may have to hire a coach that you think is a good fit for you. You have to do the work to get the result that you want. It's unavoidable. It is unavoidable. So let's start doing that work, and let's start defining what that work looks like, starting with this training today. Okay. So I first want to do a check-in with you guys. I start every single training with a check-in because I need to see who's in the room and how people are feeling, because that can then, even though I have my slides, will help direct me in how we talk. Okay. So I would like a 1 in the chat, if you are afraid that you are never going to find a fulfilling, loving partnership. Okay. I want a 1 in the chat if you feel like you're never going to find a loving partnership. I want a 2 in if you are just absolutely dreading dating. Like, you're like, I could probably find a partner. That's not my number one fear. My number one fear is not finding a partner. My number one fear is, what kind of process will I have to go through in order to find said partner, right? And then I want a number 3 if you are feeling like there is no one, non-existent, it does not exist, there is no one in the pool who's a good fit for you. So number 1 is you're afraid you'll never find a fulfilling partnership. Number 2 is you know that it's out there, but you just don't want to have to do the work in order to get there. You know you can lose the weight. You just don't want to do the work in order to get there, right? You don't want to sweat out your edges. You don't want to be a trainer. You don't want to sacrifice your time. You don't want to sacrifice enjoying food. Like, you know that you can lose the weight if you do the work. You just don't want to do it. So you know there's a good partner out there. You just don't want to go through the process, right? That's a number 2. A number 3 in the chat is if you believe that there is absolutely nobody there for you, like it is not going to happen, it's a dub. It's not happening, period. Okay. So a 1, a 2, or 3 in the chat. Okay. Just so I can get a general idea. So now that the results are coming in, thank you for everyone who's responding. I'm seeing 79 responses out of 120. So I like this. Please keep them coming in. Let's talk about what we're going to cover today. So this program, the program that I have, The Partner You Deserve, the same name as this presentation today, this training today, is basically the most truncated version of my 6-month program in less than 2 hours. So let's go through what the topic outline is, because that's going to be the same thing as what I do in my coaching program, obviously as quickly as humanly possible. All right. So, and again, if you are in Zoom where you belong, go ahead and screenshot, go ahead and do whatever you need to do. You take your notes, you do what you got to do in order to get the closest to the result that you desire. Because again, like I said, 6 months truncated in 2 hours may not get you to your husband, but at least this will be a good start. Okay. And a good introduction to what I do. So the first thing we are going to discuss is how to self-reflect on the mistakes that you are making. Yes, I know that the pool has sections of P, but how are you contributing to said P, right? So that you can start working on becoming a better version of you. How do we build you to be the catch versus for some of us running and trying to catch someone else? And then how do you sit back and allow love to come into your life? And then once we do that, which is a lot of mindset, then I'm going to give you the practical. I know you're saying, Alison, no, I want you to jump ahead. Get me the practical. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be honest. That's only half the struggle. And everyone on Instagram, everyone on TikTok, everyone on YouTube, everyone on my podcast, Alison, where do I go? I'll tell you. But if you're not changing your mindset, which is 3/4 of today's presentation, 3/4 of my coaching program, then me telling you a specific event to attend, and he could be standing right in front of you. I hate to say this, and I say this lovingly, he may not like you. He may not like you. So it is more work on me, more work with you to get the mindset first, because I don't want to put you in a position to be meeting all these great people, and then you're the one who's to turn them. Right? Now, I don't believe there's only one person for us on earth. I do not believe that. However, I don't want you to be wasting time and catching L's. Okay? So a lot of mindset. And then the last piece is like the literal, how am I found by the partner that I deserve? How do I position myself appropriately? Okay. So who am I? If you are new to me, maybe you saw a reel that viral, maybe you just had a friend who sent you, hey girl, you need to be on this training. My name is Alison. I need to update this, probably about 10 years of professional counseling experience. I've been the go-to bestie for all my friends, probably my entire adult life, but 10 years under my license as a professional counselor. I have a master's degree in mental health counseling. And I'm a certified dating and relationship coach with over 160 testimonials. Now, I am going to pat myself on the shoulder just a bit, and y'all going to let me rock, right? So please note that this says 160 testimonials. There are plenty of times where people get results and don't ever tell me. Literally, one time I emailed someone to check in on her, like, hey, girl, haven't heard from you. Hope all is well. She's like, oh, yeah, married in September, and I'm going to send you the invitation. Like, sis, I should have been the first, not your mother, not your sister, me. You should have emailed me, text me first, because she was a client. She had my cell phone number. So when I say 160 testimonials, that is reflective of documented evidence that's on my Instagram page in the highlights, testimonials part 1, testimonials part 2. Because on Instagram, your highlights only go to 100. So I had to make a part 2, child. All right. So that's 160 testimonials. That is not reflective of the amount of lives that I've helped shift in alignment with the client, because it's a two-way street here, right? So that I can help them be found by the partner that they deserve. Okay. And if you don't know, I am also happily married. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention to what's going on in these, in the professional dating and relationship space. But there was a gentleman who went viral recently who I believe he has to be a certified coach. He has to be, the way he was talking, certified coach, he's married, and he was talking about all of these people who are in the dating and relationship space, but they're not in healthy, happy relationships or marriages. I actually did a podcast episode that dropped today that was speaking on that, right? So I do believe that anyone can have good advice. A homeless man could have some really great financial advice for you, right? You don't know what their circumstances are. However, for me, it would be my preference that if I'm listening to someone, if I'm following someone's lead, it would be someone who is in the position that I desire to be, and really better than, right? So that's that. And don't know, I'm also a mama bear, okay? Hey, folks, make sure you're staying on mute, please, 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 please. Make sure that you are staying on mute. Chrissy, babe, thank you. All right. And you guys know my little one, my little Rogie bear, okay? So these are some of the 160 plus receipts that I have received in the last 6 months, right? A couple here, they were shopping for rings. This actually got married, I mean, it says right there, on the 12th, so like 2 weeks ago at their wedding, in this really nice blue gown. The pictures ain't come out all that. Andrew took my pictures, my husband, you know, he tried. But this one where the client was actually the gentleman. Yes, because guys exist out there, handsome, well-educated gentlemen exist out there who want love and attention and want marriage and need some help navigating it. Okay, so the client right here with Nigel was just at that wedding in Long Island. And then another one,
What?
Andrea, babe, please make sure you're staying on mute. Okay. Some more receipts. This one's a throwback. Okay. So we have that client that I mentioned to you that was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm getting married in September. Yeah, that was her. And unfortunately, I couldn't go to her wedding. I literally was going to fly to her wedding in Virginia, but I could not because I had my baby the next day. The 3rd of September, I had my baby on the 4th. So I could obviously knew that months in advance, but I was sad about that. And so these are some of my clients who have made it down the aisle. So it's not only getting people to navigate successfully so that they can be in a committed relationship. Yes, and that's a feat on its own. To be in a happy relationship is a feat on its own. But then also my clients are getting engaged, my clients are walking down the aisle, and my clients are getting married. Okay. There's some more receipts, invitations and dinner parties and all that good stuff. And again, this is for the purpose of showing you guys that I know what I'm talking about, right? And there's lots of folks that have amazing advice, but do they have clients? Are they working in the field? Are they doing the work? Are they getting women into healthy, happy relationships that lead to marriage? And again, not that people don't have valuable pointers, but again, if we're going to be listening to people, you want to make sure that they're actually doing the work and that they're getting their clients the results that they desire. Okay. So now that we've gone through all of that, I need you to make a promise to me. Diane, make sure you're on mute, babe. Okay. I need you guys to make a promise. And that promise is that if what I'm saying is reasonable, if what I'm saying during this training makes sense, if what I'm saying you can understand and process and say, I need you to take action. And why do I say that? Plenty of people go on these free trainings and free ebooks. I mean, I have a list of thousands of people who have done free stuff, but I don't have thousands of testimonials because a lot of times people say that they want advice and they say that they want guidance and they say that they want support and they gobble up all the free things, but they don't take action. Sometimes they don't take action because they don't believe in it, which is reasonable. If you don't believe, don't do. Don't believe, don't do. Sometimes they don't take action because they haven't invested anything. So I don't have a loss, right? Like
Let me just put that water right there on the end.
make sure you put yourself on mute, babes. Andrea, make sure you're on mute. So I need you to be sure that if you are going to listen, and if what I'm saying, only if what I'm saying makes sense, you promise that you are going to take action. I want you to raise your hand in the chat right now. If you say, Alison, if what you're saying to me makes sense, if it's reasonable, if it's fair, then I'm going to do it. If you're not, and I lovingly say, then, you know, just enjoy the rest of your Sunday because then you're wasting your time. I'm good because I'm going to be presenting to everybody anyway, right? So I'm not trying to kick you out, but I'm just trying to show you that if you, in your mind, you've already decided that, yeah, if everything Alison says makes sense to me, but I'm still not going to do it, then, you know what I mean? And again, feel free to, it's no skin off my back, but it just doesn't make sense for you, okay? So why are we here? Thank you for those who are raising their hands. I appreciate you. Why are you here? Why are we taking action now? So now is the time. Now is always the time. Now is the time to get those braces. I don't care if you're 39. Now is the time to go back to school. I don't care if you're 27. Now is the time to get serious about dating. Number one, biologically. So if you desire to have children or desire to have more children, and you desire to do that in the institution of marriage or at minimum in a healthy, happy relationship, then time is not on your side. And I hate to be this person. I was someone who had a geriatric pregnancy, right? By definition, by the medical standards, a geriatric pregnancy. So I'm not trying to pressure you and make you feel bad, but you have to do something. You got to do something, right? So if you say, I want more children, if that's what you said to yourself, if you say, I want children, and I want children under a healthy and happy relationship, I don't want to have to do a sperm bank. I don't want to do it with, you know, my ex just so I can say that my children have the same father. I don't want to do it by myself. I want to do it under the institution of marriage. Then time is not on your side. We have to take action, right? So that's number one, why now is the time for you to do something different. If you don't care for children, that's fine too. However, time is limited in life, right? We are mere mortals. We don't have to do everything that we desire. So no matter if you want children or not, biology, either in terms of having children or biology in terms of the fact that we are all gonna go to another place at some time, now is the time that we have to take action simply because of biology. And starting every day. So again, like I said before, I don't believe that there's only one person there in the world for you. I'm a Christian and I believe in God, and I don't believe that God would do us like that. However, people getting snatched up left, right, and center. So you got to take action and you have to take it now. Okay. Why else? So we also just in life want reliability, stability, whatever adjective or version of the word you want to use. I want to be able to call my man if I get a flat. Yeah, I got AAA and I call AAA too, but I want him to stay on the phone with me while AAA comes, or I want him to come out and fix this thing for me. If I have a terrible day at work, I want to tell him about it. I want someone that I can rely on. I cannot tell you how many times before I was with my husband, and I'll tell you guys a little bit more of my story, especially new to me, how many times I was annoyed and saddened when I went to a new doctor's office, new dentist office, new whatever, and my emergency contact was my mom. Like, I'm tired of my mom being the emergency contact. Right? Like, I want someone I can rely on. I don't know if any of you guys were on the Zoom that I had for the Ready, Set, Love retreat to Costa Rica a couple of weeks ago, and my voice was gone. I was struggling. If you were in the comments, I want you to tell everybody else, I was struggling to get through this Zoom. I'm a woman of my word. I said I was going to do it. I ended up doing it again a week later because it was so bad. But, and I'm calling out to my husband. He can't hear me, but I'm calling out to him, babe, can you get me a Halls? Babe, can you make me some tea? Right? Like, if I was doing that presentation by my lonesome, I would have had to end it, which I probably should have, but I would have had to end it. Right? And so having someone that you can rely on. Before I even did that presentation, it was right when I came back from Jamaica. Before I left for Jamaica, I was losing my voice. He ordered from Walgreens for them to deliver. You know, we got the baby, so can't just be in and out whenever you want to be. So ordered from Walgreens Halls and Fapo rub and all this stuff, and squeezed it in my bag to make sure that I had something to cover me while I was in Jamaica so that I could teach the classes, the master classes, while we were on the retreat. Thank God I got through that. But God held me down and then said, sis, you got to rest. And that's what I had to do, which is why I couldn't get through. Nonetheless, someone to rely on. And if you are like me, if you are driven, if you are hardworking, if you desire to establish generational wealth, if you are anything like me in that regard, then you can build your own empire. I am confident that there are plenty of successful, amazing women who are multi-hundredaire, 100,000aires, or millionaires who have this amazing empire. You can do it by yourself. People do it by themselves all the time, but how much easier would it be if you had a partner who was on the same page as you to build that empire together? How much easier would it be? So now is still the time, even if you ignore biology. Okay. Oh, on Instagram land, I see one of my former clients. Hey, boo, how are you? I want to call your name. You know, privacy. But if you feel like joining us on Zoom, I'd love to have you. I just waved at you, so you know who I'm talking about. All right. So who is this training for? And if it's not for you, it's okay. If you just want to hang out for the sake of hanging out, or if you want to deuces and enjoy your Sunday, I understand. But this training is for a specific group of people. Number one, people who are looking for a committed, monogamous relationship. This is no shade on the people who are down with having multiple partners in a committed relationship, but this is just not my cup of tea. And so this training and my practice and my results are for people who are desiring and looking for a committed, monogamous relationship. Okay, nobody else, just me and you, boo. All right. This training is also for people who tend to self-sabotage the relationships that they're in. So dating is fine. They get into relationships that are stable, but because of whatever former traumas or issues or doubts or fears that they have, they're the ones who are holding themselves back from success. This training, you tend to date the same man with a different face. You're dating the same toxic types over and over again, and you do not know how to break the cycle. This training can help you. If you are afraid to love again, you've been heartbroken more than once, and you just feel like, I can't do this again. I know I want it, but I'm too afraid. And lastly, and most importantly, and if you're on Instagram land, you're in the wrong place, join us on Zoom. Oh, she said, hey, just sharing the truth. Thank you, boo. Ready to work. I posted in my stories today. I try not to online. That's probably the only part of me that just don't know the real me. Like everything else is a real me except for my sailor mouth. But you gotta work. You know the Britney song? I ain't gonna say. You gotta work. And we're gonna talk about what the work looks like. The work starts with things like this. Starts, emphasis on starts with things like this, trainings like this, free trainings. So by the end of this training, I'm gonna help you to analyze your personal shortcomings. What are you doing wrong? Because it's a shared thing. It can be 70-30, it could be 50-50, it could be 99-1, but you have some part to play in why you're either not getting into relationships or your relationships continuously fail. I put fail in quotation marks, but for the sake of argument, fail. I'm going to help you to brainstorm an action plan on how I can make you more desirable and repel unqualified potential partners. Now, sometimes I slip, most of the time I don't. I don't believe that there are inherently bad people. What matters more is that if someone is an appropriate or inappropriate match, a qualified or unqualified match for you. They may be amazing with somebody else. You are just not an appropriate match for them, or vice versa. Okay. So I try to stay away from the pee in the pool and trash and all that kind of stuff, especially generalizing about men, because ladies, if you've learned nothing else this week, with that ridiculous list of all the places that women, the 4 billion of us on earth, women don't want to go to. If you've learned nothing else, being generalized sucks. Because there was about one place on that list I would absolutely not go, and other places I would recommend something else, and some places that's damn good. And if it wasn't raining today, me and Andrew would be at, what is it, Cheesecake Factory. That was our plan if it wasn't raining in New York City today, okay? So if nothing else, ladies, if you learned how much it sucks to be generalized as an entire gender, that list that said women, all 4 billion of us on earth, don't want to go to all of these places, we cannot generalize about the gentlemen. Some of them are an appropriate match, most of them are an inappropriate match, and let's keep it that way, all right? And then by the end of this training, we are going to gain confidence. I'm going to help you gain confidence in your ability to find a partner that you deserve. So that's the mindset, which is the majority of the work. When people talk about the work, that's what they mean. And then a minority of literally, what should my dating apps look like? Literally, what events should I attend and how should I present? Okay. So one of the things we have to do in changing our mindset is shifting our limited beliefs. If you're taking notes, shifting your limited beliefs. As long as you believe that you can do something, you can. Take that something, that same thing that you, Alison, I can cook. Alison, I can graduate with this degree. Alison, I can lose the weight. Whatever that is, you're it. You can do it as long as you believe that you can. What you'll do is you have the belief so that you create a plan and then you execute. Alison, I know that I can pass my, is it NCLEX for my nurses? NCLEX exam is a really hard exam. I hope I'm saying that right. I did the schooling. Alison, I know I can do it. Once you believe you can do it, you're then going to create a plan. I am going to set aside 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, go to the library where I have privacy and quiet, and I'm going to study. I am going to hire a one-on-one tutor who's going to help guide me through. I am going to work in a clinic in a lower position so I can get the on the spot. Well, you're going to create the plan and then you execute the plan. It started with you believing, Alison, I can, right? Then it goes to create the plan. Then you execute that plan and you will get the results you desire. That same thing that we're talking about, right? Let's go with the nursing exam. That same thing, if you say, Alison, I can't do it. I've done it 3 times. I keep failing. I cannot do this. You are absolutely right as well. You can't do it. Why? If you believe that you can't, you will not create a plan. You're not going to study 4 hours a day in the library 5 days a week. You're not going to hire a personal one-on-one tutor. You're not going to take a position in a clinic so that you can get on the spot training. You're not going to do the work that's necessary to get to the goal. You're not going to take the test again, so you won't get what you want. That's how it works, y'all. That's how it works. So as long as you believe, oh no, am I asking for too much? Which you may, we'll get to. I'm asking for too much, so I'm never going to find a partner. There's not enough single Black men who are straight out there for me. Oh, I'm a mom and nobody wants moms. I'm over 35 and nobody wants anybody who's, I'm plus size, right? As long as you keep saying those things, it will become your truth because you're not doing what you need to do in order to get to the result. Okay? I hope that's clear. I want you to take that away. If there's one thing that you take away, it's that. We got how many hours? We got 1 hour and 30 minutes left together. And there's one thing that you take away, it's going to be that. As long as you believe that you can't, you are absolutely right. As long as you believe that you can, you are absolutely right. Simply because if you believe you can't, you won't do what you got to do to get there. Okay? So I need you to shift your mind. Remember, we said mindset shift. But why do we have these fears? It's not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable that we have some of these fears. So let's talk about them. Let's put them out there so it's clear as day, because as long as we hide our fears, we start lying and saying, I don't need a man. I mean, I'm talking about like the definition of need. Of course, by definition, we don't need each other in a global society, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, I don't really want to get married. Yeah, you do. You're just lying to yourself because you're afraid you won't get it. So you're doing the Eminem 8 Mile, right? The Eminem 8 Mile. If I blow myself up first, if I well, I don't want a man, if I say I don't want marriage, if I say I don't want family, then no one can play me. Well, haha, that's why you ain't got nobody. Because I said, right, the 8, y'all know what I'm talking about, the Eminem 8 Mile. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If I blow it up first, then nobody can talk bad about me not getting it because I've been said I didn't want it. Yes, you do. And it's okay to want it. And as long as we continue to lie to ourselves and have these limiting beliefs, we are going to be in trouble. Let's get back to the fears. We're afraid that we're not going to find an equally yoked partner. Well, Alison, I make all this money, and so how am I going to find somebody who makes similar money? I'm a strong Christian woman. I'm strong in my beliefs. I'm active in my church, and I'm just not finding men active in their belief system. So I'm not going to find someone who's equally yoked, right? I'm not going to find somebody who's hardworking. You're thinking to yourself, your fear is that the dating scene is just too rough. Like it's too much for me. It's too rough. I can't do this. Your fear is there aren't enough good men out there anyway. There aren't enough good men out there anyway. That's my fear. So why even put myself out there? Your fear is I'm afraid to open up again. The last time I gave this a chance, it fell apart. It fell through. I was heartbroken. A baby on me. He left me. He forced me to leave him because he was mistreating me. He beat me. After a great relationship, he just shared with me because I just asked. He doesn't even want marriage. He's a great guy, but doesn't want marriage. Whatever those things look like, those are the fears that you have. We got to say it out loud so we can not ignore, but we can push through them, right? So we could turn those fears around. You're afraid that you're never going to have a family of your own. Everybody else has their family with their beautiful children. And I'm just never going to have that. I'm 39, I'm 42. Like, I just don't know how much more time I have. And I'm afraid that I'm never going to have my own family. I'm the rich aunt, but I'm never going to be the loving mom, right? You're afraid of being ostracized. You're the only one in your circle who's not a mom. You're the only one in your circle who's not a wife. You're the only one in your circle who's single. And as a result, kind of by default, you're ostracized, right? All of your friends are going to the Thrive in Love marriage retreat that Black Marriage Club hosts. By default, because you're not Black and married, right? So you're ostracized. You're left out of the circle. You're not invited to things. Your friends and family are having parties for their 1-year-old, for their 5-year-old, for their sweet 16. They don't invite you because they're like, well, you ain't got kids, so you don't want to go, right? Ostracized, left out. And then, especially as we get older, one of our biggest fears is dying alone. And can I tell you, for anyone who's in the algorithm like me, who's stuck in the algorithm like me, and sees a lot of negative comments by men, these red pill guys, I'm telling you that their anger and vitriol comes from fear of dying alone. They're angry and they're hurt, and that's how it manifests online, okay? So now that we have talked about fear, let us talk about what the truth of the matter is. We got to talk about the truth, right? The truth is that you're making some mistakes. And let's start by correcting them tonight. Number one of the mistakes that you are making is that your picker is broken. That is discernment. So when we talk about discernment, right, figuring out whether or not someone's a good fit for you, that is broken. You don't have discernment, or it's weak, and we need to build it. And we're going to talk about how we start to build it today. And start, because again, this is my program of 6 months squeezed into 2 hours. So we're going to do the best we can with the time that we have. All right. Some of the mistakes that you're making is you believe that there are no good men, right? Again, you are right and wrong at the same time. As long as you believe it to be true, that will be your truth. Those are the men that you are going to choose. Those are the men who are going to approach you. Bad vibes, right? And as long as you believe there are good men, then the F boys will tend to shy away because they can already see that you're not with that mess. I don't know how long y'all been following me. If you've been following me for, I don't know, a good 3 weeks, if you've seen a good 3 weeks worth of lives, then you know how I am a tough cookie. Let's put it like that. I'm a tough cookie, right? I don't get a lot of BS. I don't have friends who have stabbed me in the back. I don't have friends who have stolen from me. As far as I know, I don't have a friend who's slept with my man. Because of the energy that I exude, I make good choices, discernment. The energy I just exude, I believe that women are good. I believe that men are good. I believe that people as individuals can be bad or not a good match for me. There's just certain, I don't even like to use the word attract. And there are certain choices I make in friends and in loved ones that have helped me to avoid a lot of BS. So this is why we have to be reflective of the mistakes that we're making so we can avoid them, because a lot of the mistakes we inadvertently bring onto ourselves by making choices, okay? Another big mistake is that you're not going out socially. And now the weather is turned for most of us across the country, right? And in this hemisphere. And so going out won't be as easy, and as many events won't be as planned and executed. So we got to get moving. This is why I've told y'all multiple times, the best time for you to date is between April and August, because that's when the weather is the best across the country. Mine is like super, super hot. I like the heat, but you get my point, right? So now it's getting colder. We're getting close into the holidays. People are kind of holding on to their purses a little tighter because they got to buy gifts and do this and that. And so this isn't the best time. But what I will tell you is waiting for another Christmas to pass is not a win. That ain't going to get you the result that you desire. I talk about this all the time. I did a poll the day after Christmas on the 26th of December last year. And I asked in my stories on Instagram, how many people were upset, annoyed, frustrated by the pajama pics? Y'all know the pajama pics I'm talking about. And I had over 100-something people respond and say that they were annoyed, frustrated, sad, whatever that looks like. And I DM'd each and every one of them with the same exact question. And if you know me, you know what my question is. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And let me tell you, most people responded. A few people, very few, maybe 5 or 6 didn't respond at all. And then I gave them some very limited advice because this is what I do professionally. So I'm not going to, it's not the whole kit and caboodle of coaching through DM. And it's not that effective via DM anyway, but that's another story. And then let me tell you that when I did this call for this training, again, because as I told you guys, I do this training twice a year. And people would have to like DM the word partner or comment the word partner, or maybe you're on my email or my text list. And so that's how you got the link. But specifically for the people who did the DM, I scrolled back and we were having the same conversation last year. Times are we going to be in the same position over and over again before we take action? You have to do something different. What that something is, you have to decide for yourself. The extent of that something, you got to decide on your own, but something has to change. Something has to be different because unfortunately, your husband is not going to be delivered to your house like an Amazon package, like Uber Eats. Right? It's not going to happen. So you got to do something different. Okay. So what is the different, right? What is the work that people talk about? Fixing your picker, right? So that's how we fix it. So number one, you need to have all of your non-negotiables. What are the behaviors and traits that a partner must seemingly have in order for you to continue to date them in line? You have to have your goals in line, and you have to formulate your questioning around those goals from the beginning. So you have to be clear on what you want. You cannot go into the supermarket without your shopping list because you're going to meander up and down all of the aisles, picking up a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need. Some stuff you need, some stuff you don't need. You're going to get to the supermarket, from the supermarket to home, and you're going to say, oh gosh, I forgot the bread, the milk, the eggs, the cheese, the cornerstone of what you need at home in the fridge and in the cabinets. Then next time you'll probably do better. But as long as you keep shopping without your list, your non-negotiables, your relationship goals, you're going to be cycling through the same things over and over again and potentially getting better each and every time. But how long is the next relationship going to last? 3 years? And then you'll level up and get better. And then 4 years, and then you'll level up and get better. And then come on. So we have to start from the beginning on being clear on exactly what we want and need. I should actually change this from want to need. What you need, right? And then from what we need is going to go to, well, what questions do I need to ask? And what behaviors do I need to pay attention to so that I can assess whether or not this gentleman has those things? So number one, being clear on what you want, your goals and non-negotiables. Number two, you then take each goal and each non-negotiable and break it down into questions and break it down into into behaviors that you need to be paying attention to, that you need to be asking from our first conversation on the phone to our first date and beyond to see if this gentleman is an appropriate match. That is how you build the muscle of discernment. Now, for those who are part of my coaching program, I give them all the questions. I literally give them a question bank. These are all the questions you should be asking. I teach them how to ask it, when to ask it, what wording to use, so that the gentlemen are not alarmed and they are more inclined to answer honestly. Okay, but again, we on the free. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna create those questions based on your non-negotiables and goals. Okay. Number two, fixing it. You need to retrain your brain away from thinking that there are no good men, if that's your problem. And the way that you're going to do that is through coaching. It's going to be through journaling. It's going to be through affirmations. It's going to be through yoga. It's going to be through positive podcasts that have a message that's valuable to you, that feeds you, is going to be changing your timeline to unfollow pages that are constantly attacking men. I assume you don't follow pages that attack women. So the ones that are a constant attack. I understand you want to be in the know, but you don't have to follow the Shade Room and On Site and Spiritual Word and Hollywood Unlocked and any other page that's constantly spewing out negativity about men, because it is your social media feed. It is feeding you and it's feeding your belief system. Your experience might be 4 bad guys out of 3 billion. And then you have your girlfriends and you have other people, but then you also have some friends who are happy. So if I'm your friend in your head, like many of y'all have told me, I'm happy. So clearly you have someone in your life who is in a healthy, happy relationship. So they exist. Okay. Again, folks, I see you guys in Instagram land. I appreciate y'all in Instagram land. But if you want to see the slides, you want to take notes, you want to get a copy of the recording, you want to take screenshots, you want to be able to ask questions, you have to be on Zoom. So go ahead and click the link in my bio, tap the bottom link. You click the link, 4 more open, click the bottom one, and then you can be on this free Zoom. We're going to be on here till about 9. This Instagram is going to end in 12 minutes. So make sure that you're taking advantage, okay? Socialize. Okay. You guys know that I am a coach professionally. I do this professionally, right? It is so easy for me to lie to y'all and pander and say the things that you want me to hear so that you can sign up for my program and I can make money. A lot more than what I'm making now. By me being truthful, it hurts my bottom line. However, it's my spirit. And my spirit is more important to me than my bottom line. So someone else may come up with an excuse or a way to pander to, oh no, girl, yes, you do. Suck it up, buttercup. Suck it up. Me telling you this is not helping me. It is hurting me professionally. Me telling you this is helping you. You got to suck it up. You have to socialize. Now, I am going to recommend to you that we are going to socialize both online and offline. Why? I believe in using every tool available to me to get the result I desire. I desire to lose weight. I'm going to diet and exercise. And not only am I going to exercise, I'm going to hire a personal trainer because I need all of the attention. I need hand holding. I need someone to hold me accountable because I'm not, if I did go to the gym, I'm going to cheat. I need someone who's watching me because that's how I roll, right? Y'all might have more control than me. I do not. I'm not going to do it unless someone is watching me to make me do it. So I'm doing diet exercise. Could I lose the weight with just diet? Sure. Could I lose the weight with exercise? Sure. How many more months is it going to take me? I needed to get fit for Jamaica. I decided in July, Jamaica is in October. I want to look good when I meet people that only see me from here up. They're not seeing the belly. They're not seeing the cellulite. I want to look good for them. I want to look good for myself. I want a good first impression with people who follow me on social media. They're working with me as their coach on the retreat. I got 4 months to get it together. So I'm doing everything I need to do to get the result. Could I have lost the 16 pounds out of 20? Still the last 4? Eventually, with just exercise, would I have lost it by Jamaica? No. Time is of the essence. We talked about this. So I need you to take both approaches. Can you do just one? Sure. How much longer is it going to take you? Much more time. Are you going to meet some duds, inappropriate matches? Yes. Yes. And I say this with full respect. You may be the dud to someone that you meet. They may think you're an inappropriate match. You don't cook. They think that you're a dud. You make not enough money for them. They think that everybody has a right to their beliefs. We don't care. We do not care, right? We work on becoming the best version of ourselves, but we are not working on becoming the best version that someone else thinks that we should be, right? So yeah, you're still going to meet some duds, but if you go through your vetting process, your discernment process, then you will get the results you desire if you listen to what I'm telling you, right? And I want you to think about that. And I'm very, I'm probably a little bit too logical when it comes to this stuff. I need you to think about statistically, mathematically. For every happy couple that you know, they had X amount of failed relationships before they were happy. Think about a happy couple that you know. Any happy couple that you know. Think about it. I want you to take a moment, grab somebody in your head, a happy couple that you know, right? You take that happy couple and then you ask them, hey, Tanya, how many boyfriends did you have before you married Todd? Hey, Todd, how many girlfriends did you have before you married Tanya? Tanya might say, for easy math, 4 boyfriends before Todd. 4 boyfriends before Todd. So 4 out of 5 of her relationships failed. 80% of her relationships failed. Failing, meaning not leading to a healthy, happy, fulfilling marriage. That's how we're defining failing for the sake of this argument, is the nature of the game. And as soon as you guys accept that your failures are the nature of the game, you are going to be so much happier in this process. Unless this person was married or is married to their high school sweetheart, which I think is like 7% of marriages in the US, 93% of marriages are to people who are not high school sweethearts, right? I think 12% might be college. Then the nature of the game is that you're going to have at least 50%. So the person you have in mind, they have their happy, healthy relationship now. At least one boyfriend or girlfriend before. It is the nature of the game. Y'all, I need y'all to accept that. What you do is you learn from that experience, and then you take action to have a different result moving forward. It is the nature of the game. Accept it. Okay? So for those who are on Zoom, I want you to take note, listen up closely, take a screenshot if you can. Your first assignment outside of this training is going to be for you to notate what mistakes that you have made. What mistakes have you made? What poor choices did you make? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my poor choices in a moment, right? We got to get that down. We got to be super clear. We have to be honest. You ain't got to tell me, but you got to be honest with yourself. What mistake? And the mistake is not only, oh, I chose wrong. That's not the only mistake, right? It's not only that. There's more. I need you to be honest with yourself and write it down. I want you to see it on paper, not in a note, not in like your notes on your phone. Then remember, y'all said y'all promised me that if what I was saying was reasonable, you have the proof through 160 plus testimonials that what I'm saying works. It worked for me. It works for hundreds of them, right? I want you to then say, what action are you going to take differently so that you don't continue to make these mistakes? Whatever your mistake was, what action are you going to take differently? And then also, I want you to write down your non-negotiables. What are the behavior in a positive way? Don't say not a cheater, say faithful, right? What are you looking for that is a need? You cannot function in a relationship with this man if he does not deliver blank. Your non-negotiables are your own. I've only had about 3 instances where I had to tell clients that what they were asking for was too much. It's rare. The amount I do all the time. No. We got to shorten that list, right? But the things on the list many times are not unreasonable. 5 to 6 non-negotiables. Okay, that's your homework. So now let's move on. How do we make ourselves the catch? How do we make ourselves the most desirable version of us versus you trying to do the catching? You trying to rope someone in. You're trying to convince them to be with you. You're trying to convince them that marriage is right. I have never in my professional life tried to convince someone that marriage is a good idea. I'm not doing it. If you don't believe it for yourself, there's nothing to do about that, right? So I'm not trying to catch you. I'm not trying to make you. How can I make myself the most desirable version of myself? So again, when people talk about doing the work, like what is the work? This is the work. Making yourself the most desirable version of yourself. So what I did in my coaching program, well, before I started it, when I created it, I created what I call the SSS approach. The SSS approach. And this is what I use when I work with my clients in the 6-month coaching program, The Partner You Deserve. Creating the best version of you. This is the work that we do in 8 weeks out of the 6 months. So number 1 is that self-reflection. That's the notepad that I told you, right? Being honest with yourself and then working with me, being honest with me, allowing me to be your mirror so that you can self-reflect and really flesh out where you've gone wrong in the past. Where have you gone wrong in the past? What are you doing wrong? Your behavior. So it might not even be directly in my relationship. I was verbally abusive because, right? It could just be, I'm a poor money manager, right? So it doesn't have to be directly, which impacts your relationship. It doesn't have to be how I function in my relationship, but it can also simply mean, what are some of the behaviors and traits that I exhibit that make being with me more difficult than what it should be? What are some of the behaviors I exhibit that makes me less desirable? Right? Next step, right? Because we're always talking about taking action, stepping up. What am I going to do to change that behavior? So if one thing is that I am financially irresponsible, I don't follow a budget, I'm constantly overdrafting, I always have to borrow money from friends, whatever that looks like, right? How am I going to change that behavior? Am I going to grab a book on Amazon and teach myself how to create a budget? Am I going to hire a financial advisor? What am I going to do differently? Am I going to deactivate my Amazon account so that I'm not tempted to order from Amazon every day? I'm kind of talking to me, right? Whatever that looks like is creating a plan. So the first S, self-reflect. The second S, step up. What do you do differently to change the behavior? Whoever's off mute, please make sure you mute yourself. Lorraine, please make sure you mute yourself. Thank you. And then sitting down, sitting back after you have figured out what the issues are. What are the things that make me less desirable in every relationship? I'm hard-headed. I'm argumentative. I don't manage my money properly. Low confidence because of my skin, because of my teeth, because of my edges, whatever. Self-reflecting on what are some of the behaviors and traits that you exhibit that is unattractive, creating an action plan and executing said action. And then the last piece is going to be, well, now I need to sit back. I need to chill out, right? And that chill out doesn't mean not going out, not go outside, but it means I don't have to chase after anyone, right? I am going to put myself out there in a healthy way because I've worked on becoming the best version of me so that I can make better choices. Notice I did not say attract. I'm working on that, taking away that word attract, sitting back so that I can make better choices on the men who approach me. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys very briefly my own story. Before I was with my husband, I was dating this gentleman for 4 years, and he was an inappropriate match. Not a bad guy, an inappropriate match. I want the same things that I wanted on this time that I was on. That's really basically what it boils down to. May he have eventually gotten there? Maybe, but I was not going to take the risk because, as I shared with you guys in the beginning, biology is not on our side. Biology in terms of having children, if that's what you desire, or in general, biology in terms of life. Like, I don't have 4 more years to pray that you change your mind. I can't risk that. My life is too short. Our lives are too short to take that risk. So when we got to our 4th anniversary, mind you, I've been systematically asking questions and reminding. When we got to year 4 and the gentleman had not taken appropriate action, AKA a shared savings account, purchasing a property together, getting engaged, having a baby, getting married, none of the things that I thought that someone in their late 20s, early 30s should be doing, deuces, right? And I'm sure that he's probably a great guy to somebody else, but he wasn't on my train. He wasn't on my page. And unfortunately, biology would not allow me to be on his. So we got to go. We got to part ways, and it'll be okay, right? People move on and it'll be okay. So I decided that it was in my best interest to move on, but I had to be honest and say that there was some behavior that I was exhibiting. Whether or not it held him back from moving forward with me, I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. But there's some behaviors that I was exhibiting that would make me unattractive to lots of people. And one of those things was being argumentative. Nobody likes to pull up at their house and walk into an argument. I mean, unless you're like a professional debater that works for like CNN or MSNBC, and some people probably tired too. So me being argumentative, I found joy in arguing. I found joy. This is very nasty. I'm gonna tell you the truth though. Y'all know me, I'm extremely transparent. I found joy in making people feel stupid. Like, that made me feel good and better than everyone else. So I had to work on changing that behavior. And that worked for me, and it looks different for everybody else. That work for me was a decision. I decided. It was that simple. I decided that I am not going to pick every battle. I decided that being argumentative is unattractive. And so if this thing does not need an argument, if whatever my next partner, now husband, is doing that is not going to be the violation to my morals and values, I can let it go. It's just not that serious. And it's not worth losing my husband, my family, potentially losing the house because I can't afford the house by myself. That's just what it is, right? I can't afford to lose everything that we built together because I like to argue. Now, I will say this, I deserve it most times, but I'm just going to make a better choice. It was that easy for me. Some people need therapy. because whatever they are under, whatever they've been through, whatever traumas they've experienced, they can't correct on their own by making a decision, by listening to the right podcast, by journaling, by doing YouTube. Some people need coaching. So it just depends on what your issue is, and do you have the capability? I have a master's degree in mental health counseling. I can kind of just do this. This is why I do this, right? But if you need help, you need to find someone to help you. There's no shame in that. The shame is not doing anything. Like some people might be on here right now. I'm scrolling back and we literally had this conversation a year ago. And we're right back to where we were a year ago, okay? And once I put those changes in place, I knew my husband from when we were teens, but we reconnected through Facebook, online. Everything is online dating. Everything is online dating, okay? We reconnected through Facebook, and we were engaged 2 years later, married 2 years after that, but that was because I wanted a very specific date and stuff like that. But nonetheless, and then we have our little baby girl. So you can do this. You have a choice. You can have it all. You can be educated, and you can have your career, and you can have a healthy, happy relationship. Now, will some things be a bit of a juggle? Will you have to give in some areas? Yes, but you can have happiness and fulfillment in those areas. If you were on this call and you were like me, it doesn't have to just end in and say, oh, well, that's all I'm ever going to have. No, you just got to work. You worked 4 years on that degree. You worked 10 years in your industry. Why do you think that a man should just be delivered on your lap? Some of the problems is that we are asking for superficial things. It is what it is. The things that we say that we need are not needs, they are wants. And those wants come with repercussions. You don't think that 6'3" dude knows that all the chicks want him simply because he's tall? And you don't think that you're going to have a lot more competition as a result of that? And can you measure? There is something called being out of someone's league. And many times we are out of people's leagues that we want, and vice versa. I don't know about y'all. I don't know how many times a homeless man has had to talk to me. How many times has a homeless man on the train when I was in my teens and early 20s before I was driving and tried to talk to me? I am out of his lane. I'm out of his league. There's never going to be a time where I'm going to give a homeless man a romantic chance. So that's a dramatic example, but you get my point. It exists. So it's not only one-sided. There are instances where the people that you keep chasing are out of your league because you are chasing things that are superficial. So we have to get back to what are the things that you need to be happy and fulfilled. Somebody just dropped off the call because they probably didn't like it, and that's okay because it's the truth, okay? So I had a client who was having that issue, guys, literally model-esque guys who are out of her league, and I had to help her get her priorities straight. And we chose priority number one, which is a healthy, happy relationship, and not eye candy who's on her arm, who then cheats on her or plays her or uses her for her money. So that's what we did, right? We self-reflected. What are the things that's causing you to chase after men who are quote unquote unattainable or unattainable by her? She likes the look, she likes the attention, she likes the stares, that she can bag such a good looking guy, right? Not a healthy response, right? However, if she wants a guy who tends to lean towards the pretty boy, then okay, I'm not going to shut you down 100%, but that means we need to work on how you present. That means that you need to be the best looking version of yourself, because pretty gonna want pretty, right? When we talk about pretty, I'm not talking about hands, I'm talking about pretty boys. Pretty gonna want pretty. So what are we doing about skin? What are we doing about hair? What are we doing about teeth? What are we doing about physique? Like, what are we doing about fashion? Because if this is what you want, I can help you get there. First, we're a little bit more reasonable. And then what can we do on the outside so that we can be more presentable and attractive? Right? And then once you start doing those things, and by the way, I encourage everyone to work on their outward appearance. I know it's shallow, but we don't fall in love with the soul. We're not attracted to the soul. We're attracted to the looks. We fall in love with the soul, but I can't even get to fall in love with you if I don't fall in like with you first, which means the presentation does need to be on. The joke is that many times, especially when we're talking about men to women, the guys don't even know what it is about you that's pretty. You have a nice smile. They don't know, right? You have a pretty eyes, it's extra lashes, right? They don't know, but it's your confidence that you are gleaming with that really helps you to stand out in the crowd. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Got to work on that too. That's the gentleman too. They're not exempt. Then you need to sit down and relax. Like just relax. We're not chasing after people. We're not convincing our situationship of 2 years that this is what they should want. We're not trying to get our ex-husband or our baby fathers back. Like, that's not what we're doing. right? We're showing up as the best version of ourselves because we put in the work, either internally with, again, if you want to do the free, time is of the essence, so go ahead with the free, the YouTube videos and the podcasts and the journaling and all that kind of Google, okay? If you want to expedite your results, you hire a professional that you trust, a therapist that makes sense, if it's a coach that makes sense, so you can get very specific next steps, execute them so you can win quickly, right? And then you just chill. You put yourself in a position to be found. You go to those specific events, which we'll get to in a while. You're going to go online. You're going to create this winning profile, and then you will choose, not be attracted to. Way, if y'all hear anybody else in these social media streets talking like this, I don't use the. You will choose who is the best fit for you. Okay, we are no longer doing the chasing. But I know that you still have your questions, Alison. That sounds good, but I still don't think that there's any good guys out there. It sounds good, but I don't have the strength to start over. It sounds good, but I don't have control over my love life. I don't have control. You doubt that you have it. I don't have it in me. I cannot do this again. I cannot have another failure. I cannot have another divorce. I cannot bring another guy around my son. Like, you feel like you cannot do this again. You are doubting whether or not you can even have children or more children or create the family and the traditions that you desire. You have these myths. You say, I don't have control over my life, Alison. I have control over my education and my career, but not my love life because it depends on someone else, which I can understand from a logical perspective, but it's because you've been making poor choices. You have control over your choices, meaning going out, being social, asking the right questions, investing in yourself with whatever that looks like internally or externally, right? You find the time. I don't have the time. Find it. You think I got the time? I run a very successful business and I have a husband and I have a baby and I'm still in the gym 3 days a week. I find the time, right? I maintain all of this. I find the time. So you have to find the time. You have to shave something else back to get the results that you claim that you want, right? Or, oh, there's something wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with you, girl. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You are fine. Yes, we all can do some tweaking, but there's nothing that makes you inherently unlovable. Not your weight, not how many kids you have makes you unlovable. Okay, so here are the truth, or here are some truths. You can craft the life that you want. You have the capability to create the life that you want. You can manifest the life that you want. And I'm not talking about crystals and the moon and whatever, retrograde. Manifest meaning to create. You can put a plan in place. You could believe, put a plan in place, and execute to create the life that you want. You do have control. You do have time, and there is nothing wrong with you. Let me tell you about a client that I had, extremely successful, beautiful doctor, right? And her problem is that, number one, this is a breakdown of the problem child. This is how I work with my clients. We break it down. Chose mates who were unwilling to commit. She's not asking the questions. She's not paying attention to the behaviors. Never had a girlfriend. Last time he had a girlfriend was 20 years ago, right? Never asked about marriage. Like, come on, you're choosing people who can't stay at a job, commitment, right? Commitment issues. She's choosing people on their potential versus their reality. Potentials when we were in college. Everybody who was, almost everybody, unless they were failing, everybody who's on that college campus has potential because we're 21. We don't know, right? 35, we're not making choices on potential anymore. We're making choices on reality. If this gentleman stayed at this job for the rest of his life, could I be happy? If this gentleman attended church as many times as he does at this moment in our relationship, could I be happy? Stop making choices on potential. Potential ain't going to save you. Potential ain't going to keep you warm. Reality is what's going to save you. Reality is what's going to keep you warm, okay? Choosing projects, people that she can fix up, like the doctor that she is. She wants to sew them up, right? Patch them up, fix them up, do surgery on them. Stop choosing projects. That's the same thing as with the potential. He has the potential, so I'm going to fix him. And then when he leave you fixed, you won't be mad. No, we have to present as ourselves. Of course, nobody is perfect, but would I be fulfilled with this? Okay, I want my steak. I want my potatoes. I want my spinach. I have my drink. I'm fulfilled. The dessert is an extra. He makes over 100K. That's the dessert. He has abs. I'm not really crazy about abs, as some people are. That's the dessert. He's over 6 feet. Dessert. But the meal is what's going to sustain me and get me through and make me feel safe and full. Okay. She hated the idea of starting over and over again. So you're going to stick in a mess because you don't want to potentially start a new mess. If you stay in the mess that you're in, If you stay in the mess that you are in, you are 100% guaranteed to be in a mess. If you leave the mess that you're in and start a new thing, 50-50. If you stay in the mess that you're in, you are 100% guaranteed to be in a mess. If you leave the mess that you're currently in and start anew, 50-50. And if you follow my 100 if you follow the program, okay? To the letter. Let's emphasize that. So let's start erasing the mistakes, okay? So now we talked about the mental shift. Now we get into the stuff that y'all came on here for. But as I told y'all before, this stuff will not work if we don't do everything that I just talked about for an hour and 10 minutes first. It won't work. But I know this is what y'all want, so I'm going to give y'all what you want. Challenging your belief system. We need to start challenging those beliefs, right? So what are some of the preconceived notions that are negatively impacting your life? I had a client who said, oh, well, Alison, well, we want a consultation. She didn't make it because of this belief. She didn't get through the program. It's 3 years later. She's in the same exact spot as she was before, right? Unhappily single. Not that people can't be happily single, but if you on here, right? So, oh, well, Alison, I don't think the program's a good fit for me because I don't live on my own yet. And this, so I can't be like dating and get like, because what guy would want me if I live with my parents? The guys don't care. They don't want a bum. But the guys, like the ladies, are not pressed about where you live and who you live with. They're just not, right? So we put these preconceived notions, these beliefs we've made up or someone that's implanted into our brain as things that are holding us back. Men are intimidated by me. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you have an intimidating persona where you floss all the things that you have to introduce yourself. So when I go on Instagram, what do I say? Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. My name is Alison, certified dating and relationship coach. I have a bachelor's degree in education, a master's degree in counseling, a master's degree extension in mental health counseling. I've helped over 160 women be found by the partner that they deserve, and one man, right? I do that because this is my profession. So, and there are a lot of snake oil sellers, is that the term that they use, who don't have the credentials and don't do the work. So I have to present like that. If I am on a date and I say my name is Alison, certified dating and coach, I primarily work with singles, that is extremely unattractive, and so many women are doing that. Men too. Men kind of get away with it because a part of us being attracted to them is their ability to provide. So when they lead with their money and we like them, we kind of let it go. Either we like it or we decide, it's all right, I'm gonna let that go. That's a little corny, but I like him. When we don't like it, it's like, oh, that's disgusting. For women, it's always disgusting. You do not lead with your profession. When I ask, who are you? You don't say, I'm a doctor. That's not who you are, right? That's a part of your identity. We want to know who you are as a person, okay? So we got to lay off that. Again, there is some legitimacy to it. There are some guys who are just intimidated by you after they find out what you do because they can't compete. That exists. I'm not going to act like it doesn't, okay? So tangible things. This is the tangible section. Things for you to do. You have to create 3 SMART relationship goals to be written down every night before you go to sleep. You get your pretty notebook and a pen, leave it by your bed, and you should write it down. Why? Because I need your relationship goals to be a part of you. I need you to be able to know it, read it, say it, express it. Don't say it to the people that you're dating, but you need to know it, because if you're not clear about what your goals are, then it's going to be very difficult for you to figure out when you've reached it. My goal was to lose 20 pounds by Jamaica. I hired a trainer, right? So I have the goal, 20 pounds. Now I have a plan. I'm going to hire a trainer. I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm not going to have any fast food, blah, blah, blah. That's the plan. Then I'm going to execute, actually go to the training session, do the workouts like the man told me to do. I'm not going to go through the drive-through at McDonald's and get my cookies like I like to, right? So I need to know what my goal is. I have to be very clear. It's 20 pounds by, at the time, October the 6th, before I went on my Ready, Set, Love retreat. Very clear on the goal. And I would repeat it to myself so that I know. So every time I want to have some cake, every time I want to have a cookie, no, I got to lose 20 pounds before Jamaica. Got to lose 20 pounds before Jamaica, right? So that's going to be the equivalent for you. Then you have to set those 6 non-negotiables. You're also going to write them down every night. It needs to be a part of your being. You need to be able to know this is what I'm looking for. So when you see evidence of it, good, we continue to date. When you see evidence that it doesn't exist, it's you finish the date with respect and then you remove yourself. James, it was a pleasure to meet you. However, we're not looking for the same things, and I wish you the best moving forward, or some variation of that. Okay? Your SMART goals are how you envision your life with your partner. My husband and I will. These are the things that we're going to accomplish. These are the things that we're going to do. My husband and I are going to create a safe space where we can express our emotions honestly, right? Whatever it is, you create. My husband and I are going to create generational wealth by purchasing property to make sure that our children are set up for life. Whatever it is, it's the vision for your life with your partner. It's not the description of the person themselves. Your non-negotiables are the description of themselves. And I'm going to tell you this now, not a salary. I don't know about y'all. I know people who make plenty of money and are broke all the time because they don't manage their money well. So stop leading with this. He has to make 100,000. And by the way, if you live in New York or Miami or LA, 100K is not even a lot anyway. So stop taking on what you hear social media says you should expect. It's not only their salary. Okay. So let's talk about your dating profile. So now we're clear on what we're looking for. Now we're going to talk about online dating, then we're going to get to offline dating, and then we're going to get to Q&A. I'm so surprised that Instagram is still in the building. Hi, everybody on Instagram. This is supposed to end a while back, and I'm surprised, but it's okay. If you want to see the slides, and if you want to be a part of the Q&A that's coming up in about 30 minutes or less, you need to be on Zoom. To be on Zoom, you have to click the link in my bio. 4 more links will pop up. Press the bottom one and register, and then you can join us so you can see the slides and ask questions. If not, you're just seeing me at this weird angle. Okay. Optimizing your dating profile. So again, I highly recommend that you are going to take a 2-pronged approach, both online and offline. So for your online, number one, you're clear on those non-negotiables. I wrote it again because that's how important it is. Slow down, I talk like a New Yorker. I wrote it again so you can understand that you need to be doing this before you get on anybody's dating app, okay? Next, your photos, 6 photos, clear ones of you and only you. Not your sister, maybe a dog one time, no kids. You're going to say that you have children, but the photos ain't it. Okay, you're going to write your bio. Your bio is going to have 3 parts to it. It should be no more than 2 lines. Why? Because people don't tend to click on that see more button. People don't read. Both men and women do not read. More men, but both of them don't read. So your name. Hi, my name is Allie. You might not want to put your whole name, Allison. Hi, my name is Allie. Something you like to do. Hi, my name is Allie, and I really enjoy being a volunteer cheerleading coach in Brooklyn to girls' youth. Right? I'm a cheerleading coach if y'all didn't know that. I run the cheerleading program with 2 other lovely ladies. Anywho, something I like to do, not what I do professionally. I'm a coach, I'm a counselor, I'm a whatever. Not what I do professionally, something that speaks to an interest of mine that's not money related or work related. Especially if you give back to the community. That's really sweet, right? And that nurturing thing and that wife-like behavior, big quotation marks, but it's a picture of that, right? So something that you do voluntarily or that serves the community, right? It's not just a hobby that you enjoy. Hi, my name is Allie, and something I really enjoy doing, or one of my interests, are working with girls' youth cheerleading here in Brooklyn, New York, right? And why I'm on the app. So period. Enjoy working with girls' youth in Brooklyn, period. I am here looking for my forever person. I am on this app because I desire to be in a loving, committed relationship. Whatever, why you're here. You're going to write that in the bio. Excuse me, guys. Up front, up front, okay? Why? Because you are going to reiterate what you're looking for multiple times on your profile. So when someone is scanning, if they miss it the first time, they're going to see it again and again and again. And you want to eliminate as many F-boys as possible. Will some still reach out? Yes. But you know who will reach out? If you say, if you are an F-boy, don't reach out to me, they will 100% reach out to you because you've called their name, like Candyman, right? So we are saying what we want, not what we don't want. Positive spin. No one wants to be around a negative Nancy or don't swipe on me if nobody wants to be around that negative stuff. So the guys you do want, don't want that because you are coming across as jaded. And the guys you don't want, love that. And they're gonna send you messages. So always what you're looking for in the app in a positive way. From there are the prompts. The prompts are the drop down, fill in the blank. My 3rd grade teacher would say this about me. One conspiracy theory, I believe, is whatever that looks like. So that's prompts, right? You're going to create a prompt sandwich. That prompt sandwich is going to have 3 parts like a sandwich, right? Bread, meat, and then bread. So 3 parts. So the bread, the sauce part of the sandwich is going to be a prompt that's soft and easy, light, comedic, feminine, not romantic. My 3rd grade teacher would say that I talk too much, but it ends up working out in my favor because my friends love to come to me and talk all the time. Whatever, something soft and easy and light. A thing I love to debate about is that LeBron James don't got nothing on Michael Jordan. Whatever, something light, easy, comedic, feminine in nature, not romantic, soft. Hard. This is the meat of your prompt sandwich. This is where you are saying the same thing you said here in your bio, you're saying it again. Hard. What you're looking for. I will introduce you to my parents if. A way to my heart is one of those where you get to reiterate 1 or 2 of your non-negotiables. And you're going to say again what you're looking for. So it would be something like, I'd introduce you to my parents if you are affectionate, one of my non-negotiables, hardworking, one of my non-negotiables, and looking for a long-term committed relationship, right? So I'm taking one of those prompts that says something romantic in nature, and I'm filling some of my non-negotiables, not all, because I don't want to give it away to everybody, and then someone who wants to manipulate me will use it against me. And then I'm saying again why I'm here, long-term committed relationship. And I'm saying that, AKA, don't play with me and don't click on me, but I'm not going to say that because you're coming off as angry and jaded, even though you might have a reason to be, but you can't come off that way. It's very unattractive. Okay, so we talk about the mistakes that women are making on dating apps. This is a part of it. And then you end with another soft, easy, comedic one. Okay, so that's online. Offline, in-person interactions. Again, I'm taking the best tools available to me. I need to get out of the single season because that's what we decided to do. Then we need to do online and offline to get the fastest results. You want slower results? Then do the one that you like, but you're not going to get the best, you're not going to get it the fastest, okay? In person, you must go outside. You have to go out socially. Keep your group small. By small, I shouldn't even say group. I should change this to pair. You're either going out by yourself or you're going out with a friend, one person. And that person must be another woman. It cannot be a man. I don't care if, oh, he's my dad. Oh, it's my little brother. The assumption is if you're with a man, that is your man. And any man who has sense is going to say, she's not available. I'm not looking over to investigate to see if that's your brother. No, you with a man. I don't care if that's our best friend. Not when we're going out tonight to meet and socialize with other gentlemen. That's not right. So we are going to either be by ourselves. If you don't feel safe or comfortable, I understand 100%. I grew up and I'm in New York City. I watched Law and Order for 20 years. I literally have watched every single episode of SVU. You ain't got to go out by yourself, but you're going out with 2 or more other women. It is a ladies' night. And it's not about men having more confidence. It's about them being reasonable and saying, I'm going to take the path of least resistance. Why am I going to go over to the crew of 5, which I then have to buy all them drinks to get access to you? That's not reasonable. Or if I get rejected, it may potentially be a loud rejection versus a smaller rejection. That's not reasonable. You and a friend. Now that friend, and I talk about this, like I spent a whole session of this in my coaching program, how that friend needs to behave. The quick answer to it is going to be, we need her to be warm. We cannot have, I normally don't do the can'ts, but for argument today, she cannot be loud, obnoxious, a drunk, attention seeking. She got to be cool. She got to be the wing woman of all wing women. Okay. Monitor your nonverbals. Don't bring a book or a magazine to these events. Too bad, so sad. If you are like me, I am going to go with probably Caribbean, African, or Southern, right? I don't know about up in New York, but I can tell you in those communities, we are taught to not interrupt people when they are on the phone or they are reading or seemingly busy. Do not bring a book or a magazine. Take the headphones. I don't care if nothing's playing. The assumption is that it is. Take the headphones out of your ear. You can scroll, right? Because that doesn't seem as too much of an interruption. But if you're on the phone, or we think that you are, Nah, monitor those nonverbals. Stop. You cannot cross your hands in front of your chest. It gives the impression you do not want to be approached. You cannot have the resting bee face. If from New York, fix your face. Look in the mirror and physically work on smiling and being warm and welcoming. Okay. And slow down, especially for my people who are in fast-paced cities. If, again, the impression is that you're busy, I'm not going to bother you if I think you're running for the train. Slow down in the supermarket. I need to slow down. Slow down in the supermarket. Slow down in the laundromat. Slow down on your walk to the train. If that means you have to wake up 15 minutes earlier so you can slow down, slow down. Okay? Part 2, do some of the approaching. If any of you guys watched my episode of online dating that I did with Hardly Initiated, the Hardly Initiated podcast, that's really good. I want you to check that out specifically and only for online dating. Doesn't talk about mindset, which again, all of this doesn't work if we don't do that mindset shift. It's an hour and 10 minutes of online only. So check that out when you're done with this. Some of the approaching you have to do. We cannot assume, either online or offline, that every person in that space that you'd be interested in has seen you. Online, the algorithm may have not sent you their way. They may have literally not viewed your page. So you're going to miss out on your husband because you're too good to say hello? I mean, if you're too good to say hello, then maybe you don't need to be in a relationship with any old body, period. Anybody. You're not too good to say hello. I'm not talking about taking and whining and dining some guy on a first date. You can say hello, you will be okay. Okay? Do some approaching. And in person, if you are in a public space, especially if there's any place that's dark, so pool hall, cigar bar, concert, it's dark, you may have legitimately not been seen. You're going to miss out on an opportunity because they didn't see you. But being ridiculous. Do some of the approaching. You will not die. No one has ever died death by rejection. You will be okay. Men do it 24/7. They've been practicing it. That's why most of them are good at it, right? When you are approached in person, you're going to make it short and sweet. Potentially, you want to max out and meet and mingle with as many people as possible, both male and female. Female in the sense that you can build a relationship with that person and expand on your general network, because it might be that woman's sister. Sorry, it might be that woman's brother. It might be that woman's son. It may be that guy's frat bro. Like, it doesn't have to be, when I go outside, I only want to socialize with single men. It may be that you have a great conversation with an older woman and her son is great. And she says, I have the perfect person. I want you to meet my son. He divorced a few years ago. He's ready to get back on the scene. And she's going to spit out all the accolades, right? And then you can decide from there. So when you're approached, we are not turning that into a date. You are not latching on, unless the two of you fall in love at first sight, and we're just talking for hours at the park. Okay, fine. But relatively speaking, don't stretch it. Short and sweet. Move on to the next person to be engaging with. Okay. And then you want to help them transition to the phone or an email exchange. Make it short and sweet. Transition to the phone. So if you can tell it's flirtatious, it's going in the right direction, you can say, oh, I'd love to come to continue this conversation. If you'd like, I'll text you my phone number. You will not die. You will be okay. And let me tell you, most guys who are disinterested will end that conversation early. Or what guys do, and I think it's a great favor to women. If they are not interested in you, they are going to name drop, or they're going to drop the fact that they're married. So you meet a guy, he's not interested in you, and he's married. You guys are talking, and he's going to say, oh, my wife loves fundraisers like this. It's a shame she couldn't make it out. She was sick, but isn't it just so great to get back to the kids? They're going to drop it. So they're going to save you. You will be okay. Help them to transition. Why do they need help? Because of one of the few downsides of the Me Too movement is that guys have been taught to not be as aggressive as they used to be. They can grasp the idea of not being physically aggressive. That's easy. That's a given, right? But they don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. They don't understand what it means when they say, oh, he made me feel uncomfortable. Well, did he touch you? No. Did he preposition you for sex? No. So what do you do? If it's not clear and evident to them, they don't get it, right? So help them transition. Okay. So you have two choices. There are two things that you can do at this time. We're doing great on time. We're going to have about 25 minutes for Q&A. Again, if you are on Instagram land and you have questions about navigating dating successfully, I'm only taking it on Zoom. You still have time. Click the link in my bio, go to the last button and register for the trainings. You can join us in Zoom for your questions. So again, you have two choices. Your two choices are, you can either take this information, continue to grab what you can here, there, or whatever, and try to execute on it and really actually try this time to execute, which is fine, right? There are people who have found success, plenty of people have found success on their own. Or if you recognize that you need more support than what you have been given thus far, which is probably nothing because we haven't been taught how to date. The crazy thing about parenting, crazy, especially for girls, is that we are actually told to stay away from boys, focus on our books, stay away from boys, focus on our books. And then when we're out of college as well, get married. How the hell am I going to get married? I don't even know how to talk to a guy, look at him in the eyes, right? We're not taught how to navigate dating successfully. We're taught to stay away from guys because all they're going to do is knock you up or whatever it is. So if you recognize that you need help, that this was some great information, Alison, I can implement some of this, but I need your support, then this program is for you. And I already showed you guys the testimonials. You see them on my page every single day. This is an example of some of the people that I worked with outside of the picture. A lot of people don't want their picture out there, which I respect. So my way wasn't, I said, let's try something new and different. Alison was professional to everything I said, and I felt this was a great decision, right? So I helped week by week to get her through the program. She wasn't dating prior to the program, and with my help, I helped her to get on 4 dates. She hadn't been dating for years, and she started to date in a healthy way and meet the right guy. I want to give Alison a huge shout out. The experience has been lit, right? She went on an amazing date, a place in Brooklyn, right? Hopped on the phone with her. I was hesitant at first, but after speaking with her, I realized how real and down to earth I am, right? In 5 weeks, I was going on dates with quality men that she vetted by learning through the program and met through Match. Match ain't that bad. I'm on our third date and he flew me out to Miami, 1 day trip with no pressure. If you guys are reading what I'm reading, which is a 1 day trip means he did not book a hotel. He did not book an Airbnb. This is an experience that he wanted her to have without the pressure of sex. That's what she's saying. If y'all picking up what she's putting down, okay? And this guy, she actually went on to marry this gentleman, okay? So what is my program and how can I help you? So the Partner You Deserve is a group coaching program. I never have more than 4 women in the group at a time. There's some people who are here on the Zoom that are actually in the program. It's 8 weeks of weekly sessions through Zoom, where I work the program that I just taught you in 2 weeks. We do it over 8 weeks, that SSS approach. So I help clients, number one, get clear on exactly what they're looking for in a mate so that they can be found by the partner that they deserve. Those are those non-negotiables and those goals. I help them to create a realistic list that will feed them. And I give them all the questions they should be asking and all of the behaviors they should be paying attention to so they can assess whether or not the person is the right fit. I help them to reflect on where they went wrong in their former relationships or in their dating process, telling them, helping them, guiding them, and then putting a plan in place as to how they can change those behaviors moving forward. They don't end up in the same cycle of choosing the wrong people over and over and over again, saving you time and helping you find happiness. Co-create and optimize your dating. You literally share your screen and I literally tell you which photos to choose, what order to put, what are you writing in your prompts. We do this work together, okay? And I teach you how to master in-person dating, even if you are an introvert. How can you retain your energy for the right events and position yourself so that you don't feel drained at the end, but you're engaging with enough people to open up your circle and start dating successfully, okay? I help you build confidence so that you can feel prepared as you begin dating again, but now you have intention and focus. And I help you to emotionally and mentally prepare for committing to the partner you deserve so that you can build that family. So no more self-sabotage. Build that family, that legacy, and that lifelong love that you desire, okay? Who is this program not for? Because it ain't for everybody. If you are not interested in being in a committed relationship with one person, this is not for you, okay? If you are not ready to face your fears with guidance and support and to change those old belief systems, this is not for you. If you are not ready to take action and accountability for your role and how your life turns out, this is not for you. If you think all men ain't ish, this is not for you. Okay? So what's the cost, right? This is one of my clients who got married a couple of years ago. I love this picture. She just looks so happy. So what's the cost? So normally my coaching program that's going to help you to be in a lifelong, joyous partnership to build a family that you desire. Normally my 6-month program, 8 weeks of instruction, 4 months of 24/7 support. You have my direct cell phone number after the 8 weeks for you to text me 24/7. I am your dating bestie with any questions that you have. Allison, should I go out on this date? This guy doesn't have this non-negotiable. Allison, this guy wants me to meet his family and fly to Chicago. It's kind of fast. Is he whatever your questions are, 6 months, right? The regular price for the program is $5,500 for 6 months of the program to get you into the healthy, happy relationship that you have not been able to achieve by yourself just yet. However, for the next 24 hours, so for the people who book a consultation call in the next 24 hours, it can be a week out. For the next 24, if you were to pay for this program in full, I take $2,000 off. So from $5,500 in full, it becomes $3,500. The most eloquently I can say anything is all I can say is bruh, right? So from 55, you're going to 35 if you are paying in full. If you need installments, that's perfectly fine. I take $1,000 off. So 55 becomes 45, and then there's an installment plan that we create. Okay, I accept Afterpay, credit card, debit card, whatever it is that you need in order to get to the result that you desire, that I've helped so many other people get. So my calendar is open. I'm going to drop the link to my calendar in the chat. And at this time, also, if you miss it, you can go to alignwithallison.com, or you can click the link in any of my bios, my link on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, however you're coming in, click the link so that you can book your consultation, okay? Also, there's actually another opportunity. So if you missed it, I just hosted my first inaugural Ready, Set, Love retreat, which was in Jamaica. We're missing one person who missed her flight here. These are the lovely ladies who came along with me so that they could be coached by me in person in Jamaica. I'm having my next retreat in Costa Rica next year, April 20th, 24th. So if you want in-person coaching coupled with an amazing retreat, then there's also the opportunity for you to attend and do your coaching that way. I'll tell you this, I want y'all to be on the retreat, but the 6-month coaching program is what's going to get you the results that over 160 women have shared with us over the last 2.5 years. Okay, so now I'm going to open up for Q&A. I am going to stop sharing. Oh, not a new share. I want to stop sharing. And I'm going to ask, what is this? Not new share, stop. Oh, here we go. I'm going to ask you guys to raise your hands. So I know that some people had their hands raised already. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if you have a question, and then I will unmute you. Yes, you do get this recording. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and share your question. Since I've been talking for a while, I would like for you to unmute so I can take a little bit of a break because I've been talking for like an hour and 40 minutes. And we are going to we're going to start with Linda. All right, Linda, babe, you can unmute yourself. Linda? All right, Linda Boo, I'm going to move on to someone else. Angel, you're up next.
Hi, good evening, Allison.
Okay.
I wanted to find out if you're interested in going out by yourself to meet men. What are some great strategies to use if like your friends happen not to be available, but you still want to go out, you still want to meet people? What are some great strategies to do that?
Can you be a little bit more specific when you say strategies? Like, give me an example.
Like, what types of places can you go? And when you get there, like, what should you do because you're by yourself?
Yes. So places to go. So I like to, when I describe this to my clients in the coaching program, I describe it like it's a pyramid. When you think of a pyramid, so the bottom is going to be the largest area. I call that tier 1. Your tier 1 events are the events that you already attend, like naturally, right? Somebody's backyard barbecue, somebody's game night, somebody's kickback. That's what you do already. You should continue to attend those events, but those events are not specified. They're not, differentiated. Okay. So I want the ratio to be on your side. I want more men than women in your space. So the next area, so tier 2 would be the little rectangle that's in your pyramid, is going to be male dominated interests. So entertainment spaces that have male dominated interests. So that's going to be the cigar bar. That's going to be the sports bar, specifically sports bar, not any bar. That's going to be the sporting event. That is going to be the axe throwing, hiking, things that you can do. You don't have to love it, but things I'm not going to a baseball game, but things you could deal with. I could deal with basketball. So you're going to go to those spaces because those spaces are going to have way more men than women. So by default, you are more attractive than most of the people that's in the place, right? So that's a thing. And then also you are going to have your pick of the litter. Top of the triangle, which is tier 1, that's going to be male dominated interests in a professional or serious space. So that is going to be conferences, that is going to be political events, that's going to be professional mixers. How do you find them? You can use Facebook groups in order to find those events. You can literally Google. So let's say, I think a couple months ago, there was like the Black Democratic Caucus in DC. So you're going to Google political events right? You might have to do a little bit of driving depending on where you live. So again, we have those 3 tiers, and then using Facebook groups, using Google, using Instagram. There's an Instagram page for multiple cities called secret _ and then the city. So secret _ NYC, secret _ ATL. You're going to use Eventbrite to find out about those particular events. Those tier 1 events, however, are more costly. So going into a conference, it might cost you $200-300. That might not be something you want to frequent a lot. A live podcast recording. So if anybody follows Earn Your Leisure, EYL, they had something in Chicago 2 weeks ago. I shared this link with my women who are in my Facebook group. So I send them events across the country as I come across them. So live podcast recordings, but again, in an industry, business, investment that men tend to be. Don't go to the education conference unless it's higher education or education administration. So events around male dominated industries are a good place to start.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sai?
Hey, Allison.
Hi, Muffin.
So mine, it wasn't really a question. It was really just a thank you. I started a few months back, like listening to your videos and your Zoom. I was in your Future Wives Club for like a couple of months. And like your advice has really helped me, like investing into the dating apps. You did a reel on that a couple of, sorry, I'm at work. You did a reel on that a couple of like weeks ago. And I was like, yeah, when I paid for the membership on the dating app, I met the guy that I've been with now for like 4 months.
Good.
We've been taking things really, really slow. And hello, and it's been amazing. It really has been amazing. Even like the dressing up stuff. Like I'm not really a dressy up type of girl. I'm a sweats, t-shirt, head out, do what I do type of girl. Since I've been talking to him, every time I get paid, I invest in one new wig. And I do myself. And I make sure when I first wear it, I wear it for him and I dress myself up and all that other stuff. And it's just been great. And I just want to tell you, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Sai. I'm so glad that I was able to help. Make sure you keep me up to date. And when you get that engagement ring, you want to send me that picture, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Sharissa?
Hi. I wasn't expecting for you to say that again.
Did I pronounce it correctly, Sharissa?
Sarissa, yeah.
Sharissa, got it.
Yeah, I had a question based off of a recent situation with a guy that I met on a dating app, and we were messaging on there for a couple of weeks almost, and it was going well, and then it transitioned into text only for about a day or two because we were trying to set up a phone call. And I feel like the phone call went well, but what threw me off was we were supposed to plan like the first date, and he was like, okay, well, I'll be out of town this weekend for work, but I'll be back on Monday and we'll talk about a day. We'll talk about it then. So I expected to hear from him Monday, and then I literally never heard from him again. So I guess my question is, part of me just stuck to my belief of, okay, I guess he just wasn't interested, so I'm not gonna reach out and try to seem desperate of like, hey, what's happening with you? But yeah, I guess what's your kind of take on if you feel like something went well and then and they seem to even vocalize that they planned on wanting to have a date, but then they never followed through? Like, what are just your thoughts on that?
Sure. So I'm going to answer your question, and I'm going to tell you something after. I hope I don't forget the after. So you can think that something went well, like, it seemingly went well. It was bubbly, there were smiles, there were even conversation of next steps. It could have been that something that you said or did turn them off. Now, when I say turn them off, I don't mean belching, right? When I mean turn them off, meaning you said something like, what I advise my clients to say is when they talk about, what are you looking for? And you would say something like, my future husband, it's important to me that my future husband is a real stickler about family and, is a believer in Jesus like I am, right? Let's say that could have been the turnoff, meaning that you said something that wasn't in alignment with what they're looking for, and you were a pleasant and beautiful woman, so there's no reason for me to behave in a nasty way towards you. And it was probably even awkward for me to reject you when I'm going to say, oh, I'm looking forward to another date. It's not very easy to say up front. So that's kind of where the rejection may have come from, that you said something or did something that was not in alignment with what they're looking for. Just like for you, I would advise you to do the same thing. If you're on a date with a gentleman and you ask a question or he says something that is not in alignment with your non-negotiables, I would advise you to continue to smile, get through the date. And then when you get home, out of kindness, which most people don't do, out of kindness, I would say, hey, James, it was a pleasure to meet you, however, right? So that could be the reason. But the thing that I didn't want to forget, and I remembered, which I'm glad, is that it doesn't matter. The reason behind doesn't matter. He recognized that you were an inappropriate match for whatever reason. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that he doesn't continue to string you along and take you out on dates thinking that he can sleep with you and all of those things. So we just have to let it go. Once you know that you are pouring into yourself and presenting the best version of you, right, based on everything that we just discussed, you're doing the vetting, you're doing all that stuff. Once you know that you're doing the work and showing up as the best version of you, their reasoning why you were an inappropriate match doesn't matter. We have to get out of our minds about, well, why? The why doesn't matter. He didn't think you were an appropriate match. That's cool. Once you're doing the work. Now, if you're just saying, I'm just going to do whatever and show up how, whatever, then you do need to be concerned about the why. But if you're showing up as the best version of you, then it doesn't matter what the why is. You were an inappropriate match. That's okay. You keep it moving.
Thank you. That's what I thought, but you putting it into words just is confirmation. So I agree. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks.
Oh, D'Augustine?
Yes, hi. So I did have a question. I've been following you for a while. I tend to comment on your lives here and there. So definitely excited to actually speak with you. So I do have a question. Some of the dating apps, what are some of the dating apps that you would suggest? I've done a couple of them and I've not been successful. However, given the knowledge that you have provided, I want to give it another shot, but I want to do with one that is probably more suitable for an intentional man.
Sure. So I'll tell you what people don't want to hear is that most of them are suitable. It's okay. Many times it's not the app, but it is your profile. And if you're paying for the app, like most apps are not the problem. But to give you a little bit of just a little extra, where do you live?
I live in Dallas.
Okay, Dallas, Texas. Are you willing to initiate conversation? Hi, James. How are you today? Are you willing?
Yes, I definitely don't have a problem doing that, but I tend to correspond with men that have terrible communication. So like they can't keep up the conversation. So it's like I'm pulling it out of them. But then when I stop responding or stop trying to initiate, then they're like, what happened? I was interested in communicating. Was like, well, you weren't really showing me that. And I'm not gonna chase you.
Okay. Are you on Bumble?
I have done Bumble and I found it very difficult. But yes. Because that was one of the main sites where it was like pulling teeth to get men to communicate, yet they claimed to be interested. So it's just
Mhm.
very complex. Yeah, I definitely like men with that have good communication. And so that just was not, they were more so fixated on appearances versus communication.
Well, that's how it always starts for
Okay.
everybody, right? So that's going to be the nature of the game. I would give Bumble a second chance. Are you paying for it? At least 3 months.
Yes, I always do. Yes.
I would give Bumble a second chance.
Mhm.
And then I would also consider Match. Match has, and the reason why I choose these for, for those who may be thinking, number one, when you are an attractive woman, right, classically beautiful, you are going to get 100 messages in a day. It's overwhelming. It's like when you open up a laptop and it has all the emails for the weekend, you just close it back. Bumble is going to allow you for you to do the picking. So you get way less frustrated because you're reading through the profiles before you even reach out. Okay, so that's why I'm a big fan of Bumble across the country. Across the country, I'm a big fan of Match for the numbers. So Match is the largest, has the largest data of profiles. The profiles have to be verified. So you're going to be less inclined to get those catfish. And people tend to take Match more seriously because it's also one of the oldest dating apps. So I would recommend Match for you, and I would recommend Bumble for you.
Okay, thank you. And I do have two questions. Does your services offer like dating app assistance? Like, or do you have anyone that you could recommend that if that's not within your service?
Oh, yeah. So a part of the program, a part of the 8 weeks is that I literally co-create your account with you. So if you don't have one already, we make it together. I help you choose your photos. We write your bio together. We write your prompts together, and I help you to begin to engage in conversation. You share your screen. You tell me what's being said, right? Once we're done with the 8 weeks, you literally can send me screenshots 24/7 for 4 months around conversation that you're having. You don't know how to respond. What are my thoughts on this? So absolutely. If you already have a profile, we edit it together. Like this is a united front. This is not something that you're left on your own to ever wonder about, period.
Okay, and the 8 weeks is the 15 or $5,500 pricing.
Minus 2,000. So it ends up being 3,500. So yes, normally sticker price is 55. If you pay in full, it's 2,000 off. So that becomes 3,500. And I accept debit card, credit card, Zelle, Afterpay, whatever you need. If you need an installment plan, I take 1,000 off. So 55 becomes 45. And then we create an installment plan that works for you.
Okay, and we can also do one-on-one sessions as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is the same program, the same 6-month program is one-on-one. It is significantly more. And so I don't recommend it for people because the results that you guys have seen are both group and one-on-one. It's not like one is going to guarantee me a better result. No, it's the same program. And once you do the work, you will get the result. The only time I recommend people do one-on-one is if they absolutely cannot meet once a week for 8 weeks at the same time. So like doctors, like people who absolutely cannot meet. Secondly, for people who have no dating experience. So I had a client, she was in her 30s. She was morbidly obese her entire life. She felt uncomfortable her entire life to date. She never had a boyfriend ever. I got to go back to birds and the bees with her. I need the entire session to be about her. So we did one-on-one with her. And I've had some like D-list celebrities, and we've done one-on-one because they just didn't want people in their business and stuff showing up on the Shade Room. Other than that, group is it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alison.
You're welcome. And I dropped the link for anyone who's interested to click so they can take advantage of that $2,000 discount. Again, this is an extremely amazing deal. So if I were you, I would take advantage, book that consultation call. We can discuss the program at depth and how I can help you with your particular needs. And then we get you signed up within a week. Okay, so book that consultation. Brittany?
Sorry, it took me a minute to come off mute. Thank you for calling on me. My question is, so I live in the Midwest, and I just feel that the men here sometimes can just be just not as friendly. And I'm looking for a way, I guess, some tips on how do we approach, like what do we lead with? Because I just find that often, like even times if a man is staring us down here and we make some eye contact and say hello, sometimes they're still just looking at us and just letting us go on about our business.
Walk over. Physically walk over. Shake hands. Hi, my name is Brittany. Are you new too? Hi, my name is Brittany. I see that I don't know, forgive me about the Midwest. I'm going to make some stuff up. Oh, I see you with that Braves jersey. You real brave to wear that Braves jersey over here, right? Walk over and start a conversation. You use the environment around you to engage. Like I mentioned, a baseball reference. If you're at your kid's PTA meeting, is little Timmy your son? Because that boy is always messing with my daughter in class. Use the environment around you to engage in conversation. Don't give a look. We're not giving a look and dropping a handkerchief and hoping that they come and pick it up.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is it Raquel? I don't know. Raquel going once. If I'm saying last name Robinson, I can't be that off. Going twice, 3 times. Gina.
Hello. So I have a question. So next week I am going to a networking event. It's like a Christian networking event in New York City. So my question is, now I know that you mentioned that, do not approach it where talking about what you do and things like that. But since I am looking for a long-term relationship to lead to marriage, as well as I am also looking forward to a networking event, how do I approach it in a way where I'm not too, I guess like more so like too pushy in a way? Like, how do I approach it where it's like, okay, I would like to meet someone, but at the same time, it's also a networking event at the same time?
So same thing, walking over to anyone who doesn't approach you directly that you see across the room that you would like to potentially get to know. And this is both men and women. Again, we're talking about expanding our network. So it might not be that your husband is in the room, but your husband's mom might be, right? Or your husband's coworker might be. So you're engaging in natural conversation using the environment. So this is going to be a Christian conference. You're going to walk over to someone of interest. Let's say if this is a gentleman of interest, he looks physically attractive to you. And you're going to say, my name is such and such. What church do you attend? Use the environment. And once you're engaging in conversation, remember I said that usually, first of all, a taken man is going to have on his ring, unless he's trying to be dubious. So that's easy peasy. Don't even bother with him, right? If he doesn't have on a ring, they'll drop, oh yeah, it's such a shame my girlfriend didn't get to make it. They're going to save themselves because their fear is that you're trying to talk to them for what we know you're trying to talk to them for, right? Cool. So if you're going 10, 15 minutes and there's no my girlfriend, my wife, my this, my that, then that's already going to give you the insight that you need in order to then continue the next conversation. So if it's, what church do you attend? Oh, I go to Church in Christ. It's in Brooklyn, Flatbush Avenue. Oh, okay. Yes, I'm familiar with that. Right. So you're engaging in the conversation around the environment, the topic that you're in, and then you're going to then escalate it. So it might be something like, I was actually thinking about visiting some other churches and kind of expanding, get to know people. If you'd like, we can exchange numbers and then maybe I can see you at the next. Use the environment, exchange the numbers. Now, you might not know in that moment whether or not that gentleman is interested in something romantic or if it's purely networking. Don't worry about that in that moment. In that moment, you're gathering information, you're getting phone numbers, you're exchanging social media. Find out on the back end. But in that moment, you don't be worried about, I have to confirm if he wants me forever. No, in the moment is I look my best, I feel super confident, and I'm mixing and mingling with as many people as possible. And exchanging information. Tomorrow, we could talk about, okay, now you're texting, and then that's when potential flirtation can come up, potential dating can come up. All we're doing right now, one issue at a time. I look and feel good. I'm engaging in conversation with lots of people. I'm exchanging numbers with lots of people.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Rachel, what you got to say, girlfriend?
Hi, Allison. I don't really have a question, but I just wanted to hop on here and thank you for everything. I set a date for my wedding, which I'm so excited about, 11/11/24. You know me, I had to do my cliche date. But I just wanted to like talk to these ladies that are in here and just like, I can't talk about you enough. Like my friends and my family are tired of hearing Allison, so I need to talk to somebody else about you. One thing that like helped me so much was you giving me the tools to be better. And all of these, like, I was scared to go out, like, you know, the whole spiel. I was like very nervous to just put myself out there, and not saying that you went out there and grabbed the boy for me, but you helped me to give me the tools to be better and be a little bit more loose and everything like that. So I just wanted to thank you so much.
We got to fix loose, meaning comfortable.
Yes, but you know, I just always felt like I was very uptight, like just being out. I'm at a bar, I'm at a restaurant, I feel tight, you know, and now I just feel a little bit more like, I guess free is a better word. That's how you made me feel. You gave me so much confidence, and you know, I know that you didn't hand give it to me, but you helped me to find it. And that's like, I really truly feel like you are my friend. Like you saying that you have that open communication 24/7, ladies, 24/7, 2 a.m. I mean, I got lucky because you were nursing your child at the time, so you were up at those crazy hours, but literally 24/7. So ladies, don't be scared to put yourself out there. Allison, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and look out for that wedding invitation in the mail.
Yes, I will be flying right to Miami, so I don't play. I have another wedding that I have to fly to San Francisco. Like, I do not play. So thank you so much, Rachel, for coming on. I know that you've already gone through the program. Clearly, you've seen success, so I'm looking forward to the wedding. But thank you for spending some time just to share with people, because I'm sure that folks are nervous, right? Like, it's a significant investment, but what you put in is what you get out. And if you weren't getting the results you were looking for before, you have to try something different and do the work. So thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate you.
Of course, yes. I was so worried to make the commitment, but once I did, I was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So thank you so much, Allison.
Thank you. Love you. See you soon.
Love you. Bye.
I mean, if I was a little bit softer, I'm a little rougher on the edges as a Brooklynite. If I was a little softer, I might cry, but Rachel's my boo. All right, CP, what you got for me?
Hi, good evening.
Hi, CP. What's up, girl?
Hey, so I'll try to make it quick. Met a nice guy about 3 weeks ago at an event. However, we do not live in the same state. We have been speaking and video chatting with one another almost every day since, and it's going well. My question is, since I'm not actually dating another 2 to 3 guys at the same time, just haven't met anyone else that I'm really interested in, how do I continue to show interest with this person without seeming desperate, since I don't have quote unquote backups at this moment? But I'm open to still dating.
Well, do you not have backups because you've stopped putting yourself out there after you met this guy 3 weeks ago?
Oh no, I'm still available. I'm still looking. I'm still open.
Because what happens is we
Yes.
tend to rest on our laurels. Oh, I got a good guy. Things are going well. So
Understood. No, I'm still open and looking, still out and about.
okay. So how far? Well, you said different state. How far are we talking about? What's the distance?
I'm in Florida. He's in Massachusetts.
Okay. You didn't
Yeah.
ask me, but I'm going to insert myself anyway. Do you or does he have the opportunity to move to each other? Meaning, do you have a career, or does he have a career that would allow one of you to move somewhere? Are both of you child free so that moving someplace makes sense? Like, is that even a possibility?
I am the one who is child free, and he does have the most stable career. I have a stable career, but his is a little bit more intricate and a little bit more governmental.
And his child is with him in his state?
They're almost grown, 15 and 18, and they do live in the same state as he does.
Okay. Okay, the fact that they're older works. All right, because I was going to say, unfortunately, I'm not even going to answer your question because there's no way. Well, not that I wasn't going to answer, but there was no way that the two of you could be together. Then we don't care about how can I keep it hot? Like if y'all ain't going to be together, but you could be. So the two of you would have the opportunity where one could move to the other state. Okay, cool. Now that we established that, phone calls, FaceTime, getting on flights. Y'all got to see each other.
Yes, that's planned. That's in the plan. That's in the works. We're planning that too.
Phone calls, FaceTime, video. If ideally, if you can afford it and it makes sense, if you could switch off, like if you see each other once a month, you fly up there in November, he comes December, you go January, he comes February, like once a month. That's how you can make it abundantly clear that you're super serious about each other. But I will say, I don't know about you investing those type of coins with someone who offered you commitment yet.
Right. Understood.
So if it were me, you want to come down here, I'm not spending $1 to somebody who's not my, or to see a man who's not my man. I shouldn't say
exactly.
It was a drag. I would pay for a date. I'm not getting on a flight to be with a gentleman who's not my man.
All expenses paid, he's offered for me to come for a visit, but I'm like,
Where are you going to stay, CP?
Exactly. At a hotel or Airbnb. I'm not going to stay at his house just as yet.
Okay. All right. Once that's clear and you're comfortable with that, then go on ahead.
Okay. Gracias.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mamacita.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Ada?
Hey, Alison. Hi.
Have we spoken before, Ada?
Yes, we have.
What's your question?
So I'll just go straight to the point, even though I've already booked a 15-minute consultation with you. I just wanted to ask, is 2 years too long before you know where you're headed? Because it looks like things are still a bit unclear. And of course, I didn't have all this knowledge before the relationship started, so I was just kind of going with the flow. Yeah, basically, yeah.
What is your status? If he were to introduce you to a friend on the street, what would he say?
Yeah, he would say I'm his girlfriend now, but I had to kind of like, it took a breakup to get him to say that. Yeah.
So if it took a breakup for him to even say that you are his girlfriend, which is the easiest thing to end, how long do you think it's for him to decide that he wants to marry you and make him your husband and you his wife? Right? Like calling somebody your girlfriend is a joke. It's easy. Yeah. You could break up with somebody via text message when they're your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Marriage, potential divorce is extremely complicated and expensive and risky. So if it took 2 years or X amount of whatever and an argument and a breakup to even get to girlfriend status, I could only imagine what it would take for it to become wife status. As a result, I would distance myself if it were me.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, see you on Wednesday anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Lana?
Hey, Allison. So first and foremost, I want to say that LB sent me your way, the wife coach.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I need more help and probably I'm going to get in this little call. And so, all right. Attracting the guys is not an issue. Met a guy like way back in August. He was just, it was kind of like the movie scene where like girl sees guy sees girl across the room and we just connect, right? So he was in town where I live. And I'm kind of mad. I was like, hey, why would you come up to me knowing that you don't live here, right? So he already had something on the calendar for coming back here where I live in 2 months. So I think it was easy to kind of keep communication flowing and all that stuff going because there was like a date on the calendar. However, he just left today. And it was a great week, whatever the case may be. However, when I was trying to kind of like put a filler out there for like, let's put another date because like, I really don't like doing like long distance. I'm like, it was a non-negotiable at one point in time. However, I feel like when you experience something that is rare and they just click on so many cylinders, sometimes you have to kind of stretch what you think you won't do. So I was open to it, not like making him, but just open to it However, when the conversation kind of came to like put something on the calendar, it didn't happen. And it was kind of like, let's see, and give it to God. And because there are a couple things, I have a child, he has a child, we're in West Coast, East Coast, the worst possible scenario. So like, given what you were saying to like a couple days before, I feel like it's just a no. But I'm like, it's a rare scenario where we're clicking on all cylinders, but it's the distance. I have a child, he has a child. So our timelines, we already kind of match that they don't flow, but I'm conflicted because I just feel like it's like a different scenario that you just don't throw away. But
what's different? Because you said that outside of the complication of the location of children and not being able to pick up and move your child to another state because their other parent has rights, all that kind of good stuff. It seems like after this trip, he's become disconnected. So besides the complication of where y'all live in and the children part, it seems like he's not taking that next step.
Because I
Right?
initiated I initiated the conversation of like putting a date on the calendar. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's confusing because we went, it's really confusing because he's inserted me in his life with his friends that are here. Like, it was like, it's, I feel like if I don't explicitly say it, it's not going to happen, but it's like, it's kind of like confusing because like I've been inserted with like people that are like friends, like, not maid of honor, but what is it? Like groomsmen of like, I've met those people and connected with them inside of this week that I didn't have to. We could have easily met like for dinner after, but I've been inserted.
Those are his people that live here on this coast that he was happy to see, right?
Right.
So I don't really see that as like evidence of anything permanent.
Okay.
It's nice.
Fair.
It's a step up from being hidden. It's a step up from being hidden, but it's not. I mean, even moms are a step up from that, and even that's not super solid. Moms sometimes be lying for their kids. It's terrible. So but I was very direct with him, like, hey, I really enjoyed the time that we spent together. I asked you about another date, and you're kind of telling me going with the flow. What is the deal? Are you interested in us moving forward? If it's not an emphatic yes, the answer is no. If it's Lana, you're bugging, I'm just overwhelmed with this particular project, we definitely will have a date. Just give me a week to get things settled. If it's not an emphatic yes, the answer is no, and move on accordingly. We're not going to theorize as to why and what. Again, if you're working on becoming the best version of yourself and you're showing up as that person, that's all that matters.
Right. Okay. I feel like that's what I was feeling, but I was kind of conflicted because it was like dating has been challenging, not challenging to attract, but just to get exactly what you want from it. Like, dating has been fun and it's been exciting, but because I moved to the state and it's, but it's been ghetto. Not for the reasons like it's been a bad date. It's just like, are these people meeting your non-negotiable? Do I actually see this person as a leader in like of my household? Because I do have a child. And that's the part that's like, even though it's been a great date, like outside of this particular person, I could not see that person in that role where I would even feel comfortable, like inviting that into my household. But I think you answered and confirmed, and I'm just like, oh, I just don't want that to be the answer. But
yeah, just be straight up. I didn't give you an answer of leave, right? There was someone else who asked that was a lot more direct to me. Ask straight up, and I'd like, and we talked about like leading. Lead with your feminine energy. I don't know if you said it the way that you said it to me, but that let's get a date on the calendar sounds like a Zoom meeting that I don't want to have. Like, it needs to be,
I definitely said it a little bit, not like that, but for sure.
Okay. It needs to be emotional, right?
Yeah.
The time that I spent with you, getting to know your friends, and I can't wait for us to see each other again. When do you think you'll have time again next month for us to meet? Like, not, I just want to make sure, like, don't talk like that because that sounds robotic and unsexy.
Right. No. I didn't say nothing like that. He had shared something that he was interested in. I found like the venue that was like hosting this thing. And I thought it was just kind of like a happy medium, taking him out of his comfort zone, my comfort zone in terms of like where we were, and we would just converge and meet. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna need more help than the Zoom call, but thank you so much.
That's all right. I placed the link In the
Okay.
chat for anyone, for you or anyone else who's interested in joining the coaching program, we would have a 15-minute consultation. And then once you decide it's a good fit and we decide it's a good fit, then we would move forward within the next week. So go ahead and take advantage if you think that it's a good fit for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Angela? Hi, Angela. You're very muffled, Angela. Is your hand over the microphone?
No, but I'm on
Okay, how about send me a DM?
Okay.
All right. We have Rael, Elizabeth, Tia, and then Jennifer is going to wrap us up. Okay, so Raquel, are you there? Raquel going once.
Hello.
Yes, Raquel. Am I saying it correctly?
No, absolutely not, girl. It's Ricky L.
No, sorry, Ricky L. How can I help?
It is okay. So I have a really I like to my profile, my online profiles, I like for them to be like witty because I'm like really outgoing, blah, blah, blah. And so I wanted to read mine to you and see like, could you vet it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My profile says, well, there has a bunch of other props, but the bio says, looking for a +1 for activities, a spades partner for the cookouts, and a vacation bae, preferably the same person so we can go live happily ever after.
I was about to say absolutely not, but it sounded so aggressive, but I'm still going to say absolutely not. Because that sounds extremely casual. That sounds super casual. +1, girl, I could be your +1 for spades and activities, not a vacation, but that don't mean that we together. Are you looking for a long-term committed relationship that leads to marriage?
Yes.
Okay, nah. I need you to use language, and then preferably the same person. Sounds like it could be 3 different, and I'm cool with that too. That sounds super casual. I would remix that, and this is off the top of my head. It would be better if you were in my coaching program, so I have some time to think. But using that same kind of language, looking for my forever +1 to be my road dog, to be my spades partner, and to have those popping like forever, like it. That not preferably. No way, Jose.
Okay. All right. I got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Hi, thank you so much. This has all been great. One of my non-negotiables is that the person is a follower of Jesus, and in particular that they are practicing abstinence and some other like pretty strict Christian practices. And my question is, at what stage and in what manner do you feel like is the best to introduce that? Because a lot of people will say Christian on their profiles, which I believe they are and they identify that way, but what that means in terms of dating behaviors can be quite different. And so I want to get to that type of information earlier on, but I don't know if it should be like right away on the page. So don't even pass go. Like, what would you recommend?
So yes, it should be right on the page. I wouldn't. I know you're just saying that, expressing that, like don't even pass go, but you're not going to say anything that's negative, like don't even.
Of course,
right?
yes, of course.
Yes, but absolutely, it should be on your page. I would not say the abstinent part. I wouldn't use that word. I probably would not bring up abstinence until I even like the guy. I just feel like that's not something I want to share, or I have to share with someone so early. I don't even know if I'm going to take you on date 1 or you're going to take me on date 1, right? So I would probably share that around date 3. Now, I think more important than when you share the information would be which apps you're using or where you go to meet people. And actually, because you have very stringent expectations and standards when it comes to dating, I probably would even lean more into in-person events, in-person Christian events that I even would on the apps. Which apps are you on currently?
Well, I just like 24 hours ago reactivated a Bumble account that I had in the past, and some other women that I know from my church had recommended Coffee with Bagel because they said a lot of other Christians are on there. I did do Christian Mingle like a very long time ago. I would be open to considering it again. I just don't know how popular that is.
Mm-hmm. So yes, if you are to get on apps, I would definitely only choose for you, just because, again, because it's stringent for you. This wouldn't be the case for anyone who identifies as a Christian, as you very clearly said. Lots of people who are Christian don't necessarily follow that kind of stringent standard and expectation. I would only be on Christian-based apps like Christian Mingle, only Christian-based apps, because then when you're having those conversations, it's not strange that you're abstinent. It's not strange that you expect someone to be an active member of their church. So Christian apps only. I would not continue on Bumble. I would not continue on Coffee Meets Bagel. Secondly, I would lean, for you in your particular case, I would lean into Christian-based events. That way, again, it's nothing strange. It is normal. They're actually kind of the strange one for not having and living that lifestyle.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So Cassandra and Winona, I know you heard me say that Jennifer was last. I'm going to hold on to y'all, depending on how long Tia and Jennifer is. And if I have time, I'll take the two of you. Okay. But no one else, please. 2.5 hours. Okay. Tia. Tia going once. Tia going twice. It's looking good for the two of y'all, Cassandra and Winona. All right. Jennifer?
Hi, Alison. Good evening.
You were on the unmute mad fast. You're like, she not going to.
Okay, so I have not dated for 3 years and a half, like nothing at all. Connected with this guy. We've been in the same space since about July. We connected 3 weeks ago. He's mentioned several times he'll like to meet up. So tomorrow we're going to have a little lunch date because he lives in Brooklyn, I live in the Bronx, and he works in Harlem. So I'm going to meet him over there. Haven't asked many questions, and I'll be honest, I am nervous because it's been so long. So just any questions that you think are important. I am looking to be in a loving, committed relationship, clearly starting my dating again. However, I don't think I've ever been super intentional about sharing what I want. And so any tips you may have, any questions you think that are absolutely necessary for me to ask?
You have your non-negotiables written down already?
No.
Okay. You need to write down your non-negotiables because the questions are coming from your non-negotiables. I'll give you an example. So if one of your non-negotiables is that your potential partner, your husband, is hardworking, I'm going to ask, and that's yours, that's mine, that's yours, right? I'm asking questions around work. What do you do for work? Do you enjoy your work? Do you find fulfillment? Have you thought about doing something else? If you could do something else, what would it be? What's your schedule like? What are your responsibilities, right? So I can only give you questions around what your non-negotiables are. You can only generate valuable questions around your non-negotiables. So tonight, you are going to get that list down, write down the things that are absolute musts for you in order for you to see yourself with this gentleman or any gentleman moving forward. Then you can generate questions.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, be clear on exactly what you're looking for.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Angela?
Hi, I'm back. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I am 38 years old, and a lot of younger guys have been hitting on me recently. And I know in dating, you are not supposed to be looking for potential, but with many of them, they're not good in their careers yet. I can see potential in a lot of things, but that's not what we're supposed to be looking for. So how do I differentiate, or should I just not even be paying them any attention?
You need to be dating people as if this is who they are for the rest of their life. Would you be okay with that? Period.
Gotcha. So that sounds like a no.
So the answer is a no.
Okay.
It doesn't mean, and I'm not saying don't date younger men, because you're 38, the gentleman's 34 and is super solid in his career, then that's fine. I'm not saying don't date younger, but we can't date younger and then taking into consideration, oh, they're younger, that's why. No, because there are 50-year-old men who are where they are right now. And then now you're the one who's stuck because of this dating on potential. Absolutely not.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cassandra, you're in. What's up, girl? Sorry, I muted you by mistake. Cassandra?
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, and it's great. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you for getting me in tonight. First of all, you did great on that podcast that you just did with the dating apps. I really enjoyed it. And I recall you discussing, uh, you know, profiles that men don't even take the time to complete and stuff like that. But one thing I don't recall you speaking on is what are your thoughts about people, men that put, they don't know, like when they're talking about marriage or relationship and things like that, they just put, I don't know, like, is that a red flag or should we still?
If I'm gonna watch that episode again, because if I didn't say this on there, I failed y'all. So let me say it here. But I'm gonna say it again. It is Lisa said it is an automatic pass. There is no way that you are 30, 35, 37, 42, and you don't know what you want. They are lying. They know exactly what they want. However, they don't want to blatantly lie to you and say they want marriage, and then now there's an expectation. Everybody knows what they want. They know they might, and sometimes it's a little hidden, like I mentioned earlier about you don't want to say that you want marriage because if you fail, then you right. So you gotta lie. I don't need no man, right? Everybody knows. They know if it's not committed relationship, marriage, life partner, any language like that. If it's about kids, if it's about anything, everybody knows at this age, as at our big age, we all know exactly what we want. We know we want no more kids. The shop is closed. We know we never wanted kids because we want to keep our money and we want to travel and be the rich aunt. We know whether or not we want to be married again. We know we never want. They know. And if it's not an emphatic yes, the answer is no.
I thought so. I felt that sentiment, but I was swiping left on so many of those accounts, and I'm like, well, maybe I'm doing it wrong. It's like maybe I should be looking in a little deeper. Like maybe they just put it to just set up the account, and maybe there's more to the person.
Well,
but the more I was questioning myself, I said, let me just ask Alison.
This is their life, right? So if they just put it there for the time being, why didn't they go back and edit it? Like, if you're serious,
Right.
nah, absolutely not. Absolutely
Thank
not.
you.
All right, Sunshine, no problem. I'm glad I got to you. Winona's our last lucky lady. What's up?
Hi, Allison. Thank you so much for taking my question. I've heard like a lot of advice about starting off as friends or like building a friendship with someone. And I want to know, like, if you're talking to a guy and you have good conversation, you have good banter, you get along, how do you keep yourself from like staying in the friend zone? Like, how can you keep that friendship, but then also progress into like a romantic relationship?
So I'm not one of those people who says that we start with building a friendship. We are both here because we are interested in each other romantically. So in getting to know each other, like people, they call it a boyfriend or a girlfriend for a reason. Yeah, by default, we're friends. I'm friends with my husband by default, but that's not what our intention was from the beginning. And that's not what we lead with. Right? We have romance. The difference between a boyfriend and just a friend, the difference between a husband and just a friend is romance. And romance is here and it's not going to go away, because if it does go away, you are no longer a romantic interest. You are now only a friend. So there is no, we're solely building on friendship, keeping romance out and think we're going to swing back around and capture it again. No, the romance is always involved. We are always flirtatious. We are always vetting each other. The way that you would vet a husband or a wife is nowhere near how much you would vet a friend. A friend of mine can drink like a fish. It doesn't really matter to me too much, right? Once they're not harming themselves. I don't want my husband to drink like a fish. So the vetting is different. So no, we are not building a friendship to see where it goes. Nope. We are getting to know each other with a romantic interest and purpose to see if it grows. By default, friendship is a part of the game, but absolutely not. We are not building a friendship to see where it goes. We'll go nowhere. You'll friend zone he'll friend zone you with the chick who is flirtatious. He'll friend zone you for the chick who he's taking out dates and spending the money on, because that's the chick who expressed that she was interested in him romantically. So I don't take that approach in the first place. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. It does. Thank you.
All right, lovely ladies, I am going to wrap up here. I hope that this has been valuable. And I think there's one gentleman. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope this has been valuable. I am going to send you the recording via email hopefully by tomorrow afternoon. If not, very soon, then Tuesday. But I'll send it tomorrow afternoon. It's all good. And again, if you know anyone who you think could get any value from any of this, go ahead and send them my page. You can send them this recording. And I hope that you guys have an amazing evening. Please take advantage. If you're interested in working with me, take advantage by booking your consultation in the next 24 hours. It can be a week out, but it needs to be within the next 24 hours to get that $2,000 off. That is a steal of all steals, so that you can be found by the partner that you deserve for life. Okay, I put the link in the chat again. Please take advantage while you can. If you're interested in going on the Ready, Set, Love retreat, I also have that information. The link is in my bio. So check out the retreat information as well. And it really is an amazing trip. Wonderful, amazing women who are like-minded and making some new friends and learning how to navigate dating so you can be found by the partner you deserve. All right, folks, I'm out of here.